Yep, I ain't got time to wait on you to quit laughing. I pressed record whenever you feel like jumping back on screen. What's up?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, man?
I'm doing, man. How are you?
Fantastic. I'm having a great night.
Oh, well, welcome to, what's the name of this show again?
Two dinguses. I can't remember.
Man, the Off the Rails podcast. And by God, life is off the rails.
Oh yeah.
I don't even know where I'm at. I mean, I don't even know what's going on with this scenery.
Hey, do you think if we change the name of the podcast to like everything is cool, do you think that would maybe it's the name of the podcast that's causing all this?
Maybe we should name it Two Rich Guys Who Know What They're Doing.
Yeah.
I'd like that one.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we just get these huge money jobs and they're just like, oh, that's it? Yeah, I'm going to double that because I think
How about two rich guys who know what they're doing who are heavily sponsored?
Yeah. Speaking of which, are you going to tell everybody about our sponsor here?
Dun 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 dun. Da, da, dun. Oh, that wasn't a good one. That had more of a dog bark than a. Yeah, old Benford Tools. That's the only sponsor we can seem to get, and we're having to buy those.
I wonder how many people listening would know. Tammy had zero idea what Benford Tools was.
You know, my kids knew, but I had to kind of give a gentle reminder. Like they kind of knew, but kind of didn't know.
Yeah,
I think Kim had to. I think I had to kind of give you a little bit of a reminder of what Benford Tools was, didn't I? Like exactly where it came from. Yeah. And so let's just go ahead and chase the rabbit in the room, or the dog that's in the room, or the wife that's in the room, because we have moved successfully. Yay! We're in the new place, but yes, I don't have.
I'm sorry. What? It looks really nice. It looks nice.
It's an adjustment. It is nice. It's an adjustment. First night here. I wonder if I can show you this. Where's it at?
Ooh, fancy.
Where's that? Oh no, there it is. See that big old giant wrong colored ceiling?
Oh yeah, I do see it.
Yeah. First night here, water leak in the shower.
Yep. Oh no.
Yep. I thought I was staying at Mitch's house.
Somehow my juju has showed up at your house.
I was like, oh, there's water where it shouldn't be. We must be at Mitch's.
Let's call Mitch and find out what to do.
But here's the great thing about being in a rental property.
Yep.
It was an inconvenience, but I didn't have to figure out how to fix it.
That's right. It is not your problem.
I was like, well, this sucks, but so the master shower leaked first night, and let's just say the handyman that they sent to do it's not a drywaller. It's a rough patch.
Yeah, it's probably so. Without giving out too much information, you're in a subdivision?
We are.
So do you think it's like? Do you think it's like the subdivision maintenance guy, or is this like a guy on his own? Okay. All right.
No, it's so the rental company that we rent from, sorry, just rip that tinfoil, babe. Just the heck with it.
I need her in that. She is not allowed to leave that kitchen.
I mean,
I need her in there.
Rolling tinfoil back, getting a steam bath over there. But yeah, the maintenance guy, the preferred maintenance guy wasn't available. He was already tied up, so they sent secondary guy. I mean, super nice guy, was prompt. You know, did good work, you know, good communication. He was clean. I mean, for doing drywall work and, you know, cutting in the sheetrock over the kitchen. I mean, it was clean. You know, of course, we were freaking out because, I mean, we had just that day unboxed the couch and the recliner. We're like, oh, great. Now we got to cut drywall. But no, he was super clean and did a good job, but not a good drywall patcher. So I didn't pay for it, so I'm not really complaining.
Well, he must not have known whose house he was in. That's what it was.
Well,
hey, see if he'll come down here and do our house, man. The finishes ain't been here in like 2 weeks. I don't know when they'll show up. Sheetrock's hung. and the builder's like, yeah, they'll be there any day now, and it's been like a week and a half ago.
So you
So we're
got
just like,
mud up,
whatever.
or I mean, you got rock up with no seams or anything fixed.
Yep, yep,
That's always fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they're gonna have some fixing to do too.
Or
So far, out of everybody, I think they left the most stuff that we could see that was wrong.
kind of the
Like,
lowest quality of work so far.
yeah, like the busted corners, and for whatever reason, when they tied, two pieces on the same joist, one of them
Hmm.
would crack.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It's
I wouldn't
amazing
want to
what
be
they can
finishers.
fix. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
oh yeah,
amazing what them finishers can fix. But yeah.
yeah. It's just sheetrock, guys. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, by the time we're done with it, it'll look good. But
Well, you could look at this place and know it was slapped together in about a week. Like it's
how
the
new is it?
waviest.
Is it new?
It's new. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
new. I mean, but it's boy, it is the waviest drywall, but it's nice. I mean, we're adjusting. We're just definitely adjusting to small life. The I only have really two major complaints. The cabinets are terrible. They are
Well, you knew that was coming.
they're box cabinets for one thing, but the doors are what's it called? Thermofoil or therma they look like PVC. Like they're terrible.
Yeah.
And one of the cabinet doors wouldn't close. So I was like, oh, so I kept trying to adjust it. And I was like, oh, I finally figured it out. I said, the self close mechanism is broken. Like you could see the spring like hanging out. I was like, oh, well, I'll bring a, yeah, I don't, the Walmart self closing hinges. But I was, oh, and no self closing drawer slides at all. Like you push a
Yeah.
drawer and it stays right where you left it. Um, but I was like, oh, well, I'll bring a hinge home. I'll just swap it out. No big deal. It is a big deal because I put it on and I closed the door, and the door was like up at like a 45-degree angle because the top one was an inch and a quarter overlay and the bottom one was a half-inch overlay. I said, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah, that geometry ain't really gonna work with that one.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. But the spring did fall out of it when I took it out, so I was able to put it back without the spring in it, and it closes. It closes fine. So I was like, who
Yeah.
cares?
I used to run to save money. I used to run one soft close
I remember that.
and one free swing because you have three types of hinges. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking to the people: soft close, self close, and free swing. So soft close, self-explanatory.
I
Self
prefer
close, it
self
will
free swing.
self free swing. Yeah. Well, you might can do that. so so basically, I was trying to save money, and I was using. That's when could afford to use Bloom,
Uh-huh.
and then Bloom prices shot through the roof. Remember in 2020, they
COVID.
went from $1.75 a hinge to almost $5 a hinge. And I was like, guys, we can't do this. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
slapping in 250 hinges. I can't. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, but we found a good replacement. They do good so far. I still like the Bloom the best, but I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's stupid money.
What are you using now? What brand are you using now? You're
Pro,
using Pros?
yeah, which
Yeah.
is the Worth brand. They do good. They don't all come adjusted the same from the factory.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of adjustment. I mean, your doors are fine. Your openings are good, but you have to adjust a lot of them.
Yeah.
Simply because however they do it at the factory, they're just not adjusted
Yeah.
properly.
But yeah. But
So
yeah, so
you've
I should be
moved.
in that little room right there. There's a
I
little
was going to ask.
closet. But I opened the door and I said, hey, remember all that stuff we were trying to find a place for last night? We threw it in here. And now I got to find another place for it. And she's like, we'll just go upstairs. Just set up in here. We'll go upstairs. But still getting used to the commute. Like, I love it. I'm 10 minutes from the shop. I mean, I
Yeah,
couldn't be any happier.
yeah.
Them, not so much. That 30, 40-minute commute. And then the nights that Carson works, so like Carson worked last night till 6:45. So Kim just basically stayed in Spring Hill and did run around. She worked late and did a bunch of run around just to pick her up. Because by the time you come here and go back, you you got no productivity done. So she's like, well, at least if I stay there, you know. So just working that out. But
Yeah.
um and then the other thing I really can't stand, it drives me nuts, is so the backyard. You thought my yard at the other house was small in the back. So it basically is like a concrete pad. And then I guess it goes out about 8 feet. And then there's like a green space behind there, but that green space is community space, right? Because they're
But
townhomes. So it's,
so can't you
townhouse,
use it?
townhouse. Yeah, I can use it, but also other people use it. As in, there's people walking by my door.
Oh.
Yeah, taking like the neighbor takes the, because so we're on the end. So like right behind me is another green space because we're on the end of the building. So he walks around the corner and then comes to this green space, and it's just a little weird. Like I will eventually get used to it, but he also sets off my camera because
Oh yeah.
I put cameras up like a weirdo. But so I put a backdoor camera up because I don't know where I'm at, and
Right.
kids, Carson being here by herself sometimes and things like that. So I have a camera back there, and I have a camera over the driveway, and I have a camera at the doorbell. And but he sets that door thing off. But the weirdest thing was the first day we were here, trash ran. And I kid you not, they walk out to the road and bring their trash can into the front door.
Front
Like,
door of the house.
yep, yep, street trash can, like big rolling
Wow.
trash
Yeah.
can, like your city trash can. I was like, do they just set it by the kitchen counter? Like, I mean, and they have a garage, so like, well, I don't understand why you wouldn't bring it at least through the. I get,
Mm.
because I get they don't want to bring it around. It was the mom or the wife, and she's a little bit older, not real old, but a little bit older, and a small little lady. So I get where might not want to drag a trash can around the building, not like
So they've
that
got
far.
okay. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute, because we're learning. We're
Yeah.
learning. So where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
they have to take the trash can around the building to go into the back of their house.
To get, yes, yes,
Okay.
it's like four. I think four townhouses per building. So they're
Okay.
like middle end, and I'm an end. So yeah, so I guess instead of going around, they just go through.
That's what they're doing, dude.
I mean,
100%. They're taking it through their house into their garage. I bet you $1.
and they're also, I think their unit or their townhouse, I think, is a single car garage, whereas ours is a 2-car garage. So like our trash can stay in the garage because
Mm-hmm.
there's room. But I guess if you're a single car garage and you want to actually use it, like there's some I've looked. There's one up the road. It's a single car garage, and like it's like a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Like it's so small they can't even back it all the way in. Like the mirrors won't go in the door, in the garage door. My truck just barely fits in the parking spot. Like
Yeah.
it's
Just
it's funny.
remember, temporary.
Oh
Temporary.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I'm actually looking at some replacement mirrors and just
Do they
trying to
have
figure out
any? Do they have any with night vision?
night vision mirrors.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
No. I thought it'd be cool.
I need some, as long as they don't melt.
Yeah, that's bad if they melt off.
They're actually GMC style mirrors, like Chevy style. Instead of the moose wings, they're already
Mm-hmm.
vertical. But I'm trying to find out if the company actually called me like right as we press record. I don't have power folding mirrors on my truck, but I'm trying to figure out if I put power folding mirrors on there, will they fold? Like, because
Yeah,
how
like
like the
if you.
wiring harness is probably
Mm-hmm.
there. Like
Yep.
like I doubt they're running two different wiring harnesses, right?
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
like if it plugs up, will it work? Because being in kind of this community, more of a community environment, it would be nice to be able to fold the mirrors in by button versus getting out.
Well, how many neighbors have you gotten to know so
None.
far?
I don't want to know any of them.
Come on, man. No, that's not going
Nah,
to work. We got to do better
nah.
than that.
I'm not neighborly like that. I'm an out to my truck in the house. Like
Well,
that's
you
really the only way I survive. Like
you're in the
because
wrong neighborhood for that, buddy.
right, I know. Oh
You
my
need to
gosh,
be out here with me.
I know. But like it's kind of weird. Like the other house, I would like our house was not. It wasn't an ugly house, but it definitely wasn't the prettiest house in the neighborhood. Like if that makes sense. Like the house across the street, I thought was a very much prettier house, like aesthetically looking at. But once I got inside, I was like, oh, I love this place. I mean, I didn't really care what
Yeah.
the outside looks like. And that's kind of how I feel about this. Like, yeah, it's a townhouse. It's temporary. But once I get in here, like, I like it. I mean, I do. I mean, it's small.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, but we got new new furniture, which the dog for some reason spontaneously has decided he thinks he can get on the furniture, and he's never done that before. Like I come in yesterday and he was asleep on the couch. Like I like he didn't
Uh
even hear me and like popped up,
oh.
and just kind of stared at me and froze. I said, "What are you
Busted.
doing?" And kind of got down real slow and like, "Do I walk to you or do I walk away from you?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
do
How's
I,
this gonna go here?
am I in big trouble or little trouble?"
Oh
But
yeah.
all in all, it's okay. We'll see.
We have, a little bit who sometimes comes in for the podcast.
Uh-huh.
She knows that as long as we say little bit, she's fine. But if we go to her government name,
Hmm.
I mean, her whole demeanor changes. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? She's like, okay, it's serious now. I need to pay attention.
Well, we have an F word. So, like, kind of like the law enforcement thing. So, like, with canines, like, Fooey is like your bad dog word. And I've just always kind of stuck with that word because it's not a word you use a lot. It's not a word that gets thrown around the house. Like you say bad all the time, like talking and things like that. It's just a word
Yeah.
that gets used. But like nobody says that word. But when that word
Hmm.
gets said around the dog, like he instantly cowers down and knows like it's done. Dunskies. Like I have messed up.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's an immediate, turnaround. Like I let him out yesterday because I mean I've trained like I can recall him. I'm fairly confident 95% of the time. Like if he starts to go, I can recall him without any hesitation, right?
Yeah.
So I don't always leash him like when I let him out. And like one time, like he went and he started to run, because he doesn't know where he's at yet. And I dropped that F word and it was a brakes, like,
Yeah.
and looked and I was like, here. I mean, it instantly was back. I mean, but it's
It's
different because
good
there's
if
a
you're
lot of
gonna.
dogs here.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. And we've always had Great Danes.
Don't you?
And so, yeah. And so it's important that they have the same thing. They have a word that's like, okay,
Yeah.
all bets are off now. We need to stop and do what we're doing. So,
Yeah, I think if you're going to have dogs, you need a shutdown word. Like you really
yep.
do. Especially if you're going to
Especially,
have big or aggressive breeds.
yeah, oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, or ones that like
Who's
to open the door and help themselves to your chair.
that was
Dude, that
something
was so
else.
funny. That was so. That was
I mean,
so
he's
funny.
this big in his tiny little peanut brain. He's
Right?
this big, and I'm like, there's no way you think you're 5 pounds.
That
You
you
know what I mean?
should
Like,
be in my lap.
yeah, he stands on the footrest and tilts the whole chair forward. And I was like, and like lifts me up, and I'm thinking, okay, pal. But he
So,
gets up there.
so
What are you
for
gonna
those
do?
of you who didn't see it, Mitch, he just let himself in, right?
Yeah. So
Basically,
at our rental, listen. I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful.
I could be outside,
But our
right?
door, our front door has never shut. You have to physically do the deadbolt. The
Gotcha.
latch has never worked. We learned that the hard way in the middle of the summer when we used to come home when the door was open. And I was like, and it don't close. The laundry room apparently is the same way. If you don't play with it and make sure and it only latches by like a 30-second. But if it doesn't latch, he's figured out if I give it one push, I can come in. And so he just decided, and it was cold.
So
So
is
that's
this
he
laundry
doesn't.
room? That's an exterior door, or like he hangs
Yeah,
out in the laundry
yeah.
room and comes. Okay, so
No,
he's pushing
exterior
an
back
exterior
door.
door open. Gotcha.
That's right. Yep. And he comes in and he's like, I'm in. I got one chance to get in daddy's lap. I got to go. I got to
And
go.
he
And
took
he
it.
comes barreling. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He was there, man. But
What's that dog weigh?
he's at 170.
170.
Yep.
Holy Moses! I mean, that's like less than me, but that'd be like me, almost like me running and just jumping in and leaping into your lap. I
Yep,
mean,
with 4 feet,
right.
and the tail is
And
nine
a
feet
giant
long.
head. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, yeah.
that big
And
old
he was
Scooby Doo head.
so he's half American Great Dane and half German Great Dane, and so basically his head is a lot bigger. He's got a lot more blocky head.
Yeah.
But as far as having a dog, dude, he's awesome. He's super gentle. Like, if the kids go out, he understands. So,
Yeah.
but I roughhouse with him, so it was fine.
That's funny. Yeah, that picture
So
was
anyway,
hilarious. So
yeah,
it was
yeah,
even funnier when I realized that I mean, I just thought it was ridiculous that he was sitting in your lap. And it was even funnier when I got the story that he helped himself to your
yep,
lap. He wasn't
yep.
invited up there.
Mm-mm. No,
But
and the cat's a problem because my new hobby that we're going to get into,
yeah.
the cat has figured that out quickly.
Oh,
Yes. So and she is like you have to watch her.
yeah.
It's like, this doesn't belong to you. You have to stay down and stay out of the way. But
I'm
so
trying to
run
remember
us.
what your new hobby was, but I mean, I know
That's
we'll
a
get
good
there,
thing
but I'm just trying to remember. I
because
can't
you'll
even remember what it was.
you'll ruin it like you did the last one.
I was listening to
I
that.
had.
And I was like, he was so mad at me when I said that. I was like, he tried not to be, but he was like, this chair
I
is
was like,
not
what are you talking about?
not that uncomfortable. I do want to say one little thing, and I know we don't have a sponsorship, but I will say this. So, like I mentioned the cameras, and I like having an alarm. I mostly just like having an alarm for when we're not here and there's a kid here by herself, just to kind of give
Yeah.
her some comfort that like if the door's open, she's going to get some notification. Well, so we did the Simply Safe thing this time when we moved to this house, and you know, I just want to kind of give it a quick endorsement, to be honest with you, because super simple process. Like it's all no wires. The only thing that had to be wired was the doorbell, and it
Mm-hmm.
just simply uses your doorbell wiring. Like it's not. That's how it gets its power. Everything else has its own batteries. Or like with the outdoor cameras, I bought the solar panel that charges the batteries. So because I was like, I'm not going to keep recharging those batteries, but
Yeah.
very simple process, and you can add to it, take away from it, whatever you want. You can make it as complex as you want or as simple as you want. But I was just really impressed with it. Like, so I don't know if anybody's out there's like looking for an alarm or looking for anything like that, or if you guys when you move in, you're looking for something, but super cheap, $30 a month, and that includes like you can put as many cameras. So because some systems, like if as you add cameras, your monthly
Yeah.
usage, your monthly fee goes up. You can
Yeah.
add as many cameras as you want to it. So I've got 3 cameras now that are record, and you have playback on them. You have your contact with law enforcement, and they do a video verification too. So like if the burglar alarm goes off, they'll actually pull your cameras up to like look to see what's going on. Like I don't have any
Yeah.
interior cameras. I thought I had one, but I guess I didn't. And we're trying to decide whether we want an interior camera because the dog's out now. Like he's not at the other house. He just stayed in our bathroom because it was a pretty big bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
This house, there's really nowhere big enough for him to stay that feels fair. So he has
Yeah.
the downstairs. So we're kind of deciding, should we put a camera down here just so we can check on him, like if it's been a long day or something. But so I don't know what they would verify if the alarm went off because all of ours are outside. But it's just a simple. It was just a simple process. I mean, once you set up the home base and just through the app, you just add each item as you go, and it was just a really simple, easy process, and I like the pricing on it. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
99 cents a day, so
Yeah. I don't know what we'll wind up doing. I've got the driveway covered with these
with
cameras here.
with the shop,
The shop cameras. But we may do some. I did not run a doorbell.
no,
Nope, didn't run one.
nobody's welcome.
That's bingo, bingo. I don't. Why are you here? How
Or
did
you're
you
just
make it this
you're
far?
going to just stand there and go ding dong, ding
Yeah, I
dong.
don't need a doorbell because you have to get through my gate, and you can only get through the gate if you have a code. And if you have a code, you're not going to be using a doorbell. Just come right on in,
Yeah,
but
You're putting up a powered gate?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't know. We might, probably will,
With a
but not solar. I was thinking you
remote.
meant solar at first. Yeah, but it will not be solar.
Oh, just
It
all
will be
hardwired.
wired in.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Because again, I'm thankful. All right. I'm thankful. But as
What?
soon as we moved into the rental, he gave us the little flip flaps for the gate. Day 2, it tore up,
Oh,
and he
really?
comes out there and he's like, something's wrong with the battery. Hang on, this is messed up. I don't know what to do." I was like, "Just don't worry about it, dude. I don't need a gate. I don't need a gate."
Yeah.
So we got 2 days of a gate, and I can't stand to sit there and just wait 30 minutes
Wait
on a
on it.
gate to open. You know,
So you need one with a garage door opener that you can do it as you're, you know.
that's what we had.
Oh,
That's the flip flap, man.
I
Come on,
got you.
man.
Oh,
It's a flip flap, and it's still on my visor, but it ain't.
yeah.
I'm thankful. Okay, I'm
Got a
thankful.
got check dinner. A little noise going on. Just bear
That's
with it.
fine. Let
Bear with it.
listen.
Yeah,
Let it
let her
roll.
let her
I
rip.
hope she. I hope she drops a pan lid so bad. Because for those of you who don't know, he's in his dining room,
Well,
and apparently right beside the kitchen.
it's just one room. I mean, it's.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
all the same room.
this is the dining area that I can touch, and the sink is right there,
You are close to the sink.
and my recliner is right there. So yeah,
This is so awesome, dude. I
it's
love it.
it's it's small. It's small living, but
Well, whenever we move back
it's
over,
really all we need. I mean, that's the funny thing is it's.
that's that. Yep, yep,
I mean, we're down to square footage that we actually use. Like,
yeah, yeah. I was taking some people through the house, because now that it's sheetrock, people want to come over and look at it, and they're like, "You don't have there's no wasted space." You know what I mean? Like, there's no weird rooms that don't really do anything. Every size of every room has a reason it's that size.
yeah.
So dude, I'm so excited.
Why you
But
got
we got to
such
talk about,
wide hallways?
yeah, really. At some point, we need to talk cabinetry.
Do we have to?
Yeah, it's what we
I don't
do.
even know what projects like we last talked about, to be honest with you, to even know where to pick up on where I left off,
You
because I feel
had,
like I've been building the same cabinets for 3 weeks.
yeah, you had some uh-ohs that you had to go fix that were not your fault.
Yeah, I'm still working on
Room
those.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those are
All
going
right.
in
Nothing's
Monday.
new.
I'm building those.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I took some time off to do the move. I did a closet. I did 2 closets in between. Oh, that was real fun. So we did the move, and then we moved on a Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, I did the install. So I did a closet install, which I just build my closets on site. What was it? 82 flights of stairs over 2 days, according to my watch. 82 flights of
Oh.
stairs in 2 days, on
Mm,
top of all the moving, the day before, the toting the boxes and all that. Like, I was smoked at
yeah.
that Friday night. I was like, I am so done. And then, still would come home and like that Thursday, did the closet build, went to the other house, finished up cleaning, painting, did some touch up paint, I still had some stuff to do, and then go right back, to the other house on Friday. I was like, oh my God, these stairs again.
Yeah.
But did find some lightweight MDF. Did I tell you about that? Did I talk to you about that?
Yep.
The material that we've used it. I've used it for the entire closet. I like it so far. I mean, I'm redoing the bookcase. So that 175-inch bookcase had to be redone. It needs the adjustable shelves in it. We're redoing it, and we're using the lightweight for all the shelves. So, but they're also getting poplar banding on them. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping we don't get a call back in a couple of months that the shelves have, U'd on us because of all the books that they're putting on them. But we'll see.
Yeah. How wide are they roughly?
36-ish.
Yeah. You might be all right. We cut them all like for 3/4 birch ply. We leave them all at 32
Yeah.
or less.
Yeah.
Or less. But you can always cheat. I mean, it's Just depends on what it is.
I didn't design these.
Mm-hmm. Put some cleats on the wall and screw them down.
Right. Oh no, they got to be
I've
adjustable.
designed a, I've designed a
Yep.
lot of cabinets that I didn't build here lately.
Hadn't you? How's that going?
It's going good. Well, my part is going good. So
Yeah.
let's see. That is down here. Let me see. Looking. Yep. So that's down here. It's on the list. We'll get
Okay.
to it.
So what have you been up to?
All right, here we go. So I completed last week my first full inset job where everything in the house was inset. It had one, two, three paint colors and a stain color. Everything was soft close drawers, but everything was inset. We had that huge washer and dryer, refrigerator, broom closet, cubby cabinet.
Pivot. Pivot. That's the one we posted the video of you guys moving in, huh?
Yeah, yep. Um, luckily I thought a lot beforehand. There was a couple of things that got by me that I didn't think about. Like when you have two inset doors below a sink or below a drawer, they don't have anything to stop against when they close.
Yep. You got to put a little.
Yeah. So I had to go back and do that, and it makes you feel really dumb
Yeah.
because you get there and you hang doors and I'm like, why is the door going in
And
3
it
inches?
just keeps going.
Yeah. It keeps going in. And I was like, you idiot. What is it going to stop on? But that was really the only thing. And it wasn't that big of a deal. I ordered all the doors and fronts a 16th oversized, measured the openings, trimmed them down, hung them. So it all looks good.
Yeah.
I got the passing grade from Charlie on that. So, because he'll nitpick. Dude, if I post something on Facebook and he sees something that don't look right, he'll send me a message or
Really.
he'll call me. Why'd you do that, Rod? Why'd you do that? Why? And I'm like, that's what they want. That's what I always tell him. That's what they
That's what they
wanted.
want.
Well, you couldn't talk them in. I said, I don't talk people in or out of nothing, dude. They tell me what they want and I build it.
Well, there was one guy, and I kind of saw it, but I didn't really like spend a whole lot of time on it. Was trying to give you like a little bit of a hard time about your rails on some drawers, like not
Yeah.
matching something else. Like, what was
Yeah.
the deal with that?
So there's two schools of thought. All right. So when you do a fairly small drawer front that has, it's what we call in the biz a 5-piece. It's got 4 pieces on the frame and a center panel. So a lot of those top drawers are short. They're not very high.
Right.
So what we do is we make the top and bottom rail on the door, which is the top frame and bottom frame. We make it smaller. That gives us more room in the middle.
I call it a
For
reduced
hardware.
rail door.
That's it. That's all it is. Just smaller. So there's two schools of thought. Your door rails are 2¼ inches tall. But when you do a reduced rail, they're usually 1¼ inch tall. So one school of thought is only do the top drawer with 1¼ inch rails, and all the rest of them make 2¼ to match the doors. The other school of thought is all the drawers need to have 1¼ inch rails, whether they're big or small, so they all match, and then the doors have 2¼ inch. I've done it both ways, and this is completely personal. It don't make me any difference what anybody else does. I don't care. But me personally, I like for all the drawers to match each other. I want them to all have the same size top rail and bottom rail because there's stacks of them.
Right.
So if you have, let's say you did that whole job and your top drawers have 1¼ inch rails, all the other drawers have 2¼ rails, right? Well, what happens if you have a cabinet that's nothing but drawers? It's got, 3 banks of drawers on it. Well, now they don't match,
Yeah.
like you got small rails on the top one and big rails on the rest of them. Then you're not matching a door. So the whole point is, do you match the doors with the drawer that's beside it, or do you match the rest of the drawers? So I said, I can find out real quick what the industry standard is in my area.
Yeah.
So I called the door plant and I said, hey, Shane, when you have people that do reduced rails, do they typically do all of them reduced or just a small drawers? He told me, the guy that runs the door plant, they make 1,500 doors and drawer fronts a day. He said 95% of them do all the rails on the drawers the same size. And that's people all over the state,
Yeah.
you know. So he said it used to be they would do, the top one small and the rest of them big, but now we see pretty much they're all the same. But like I said, it don't make a difference. He was just like, well, I don't know why you wouldn't, that guy on Facebook. I don't know
Oh yeah.
why you wouldn't
Well,
match the doors. And I'm like, well, then you don't match the drawers.
yeah. You gotta love Facebook comments. I mean, that's
Oh
just.
yeah,
I mean, because I'm looking at this kitchen, which all the drawers are slabs because they're cheap cabinetry.
BG.
But if like these, if they were because there's no drawer stacks, it's all drawers over doors.
Mm-hmm.
So for this kitchen, if you did a reduced rail over normal doors, 2.25 doors, I think it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I think if you had a kitchen where you had them stacked, I
Mm-hmm.
would want to see, I'd want to see the drawers all match.
Yeah.
Like I think it kind of, for me aesthetically, would kind of depend on the layout of the what's going
That's
on. Like
yep.
I don't know that I would have a hard fast rule. I guess
Yeah.
you know,
And so she's got several drawer stacks, so 4 or 5 in the kitchen,
yeah,
that are nothing but drawers. And you can get on a big drawer front, 11 and an 8 tall,
yeah,
it can look kind of puny across the top and bottom,
hmm
if it's all that way, or they can look too big. It's just, like I said, some of that stuff, dude, is personal. There's nothing wrong with either way. You still
I've
have a
almost gotten
solid
where I
drawer.
prefer just doing a slab versus doing a reduced rail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This
You
is
know,
all the customers like, I want them all to look like shaker doors. That's what they say.
yeah,
I was like, okay, upcharge. And then, so quickly, this house went from half overlay painted, super simple cabinets to built in linens, vanities, furniture vanities that sit off the wall, to
mm.
this huge, laundry room cabinet, to stained island, to everything's inset, drawer stacks, overheads that sit on the countertop. They had the hood. They had a 40-inch hood, and they got home. I hung it because they sent me the number. We want this hood. I hung it. They called me that night. Nope, no good. Come
So
get
this
it.
is like two hoods in a row you've had
Yeah,
get declined.
yep. But the other one was my fault. I
Well,
say it. I say the first one's kind of my fault. It wasn't really anybody's fault.
I think that was just a lack of understanding what they were
Yeah,
getting.
this one was definitely not my fault because they sent me the part number to order.
Yeah,
And then she was like, I just don't like it. It's not big enough. And I said, well, they make them bigger, but
yeah.
it's going to be a cost. So I went and looked it up, and, I charged them accordingly, and they wrote me a check, and they got it in. So,
So now you got two hoods floating around your shop.
yep.
You're
Yep.
gonna you're gonna have to
Well,
start a hood factory.
one of them's his. And I said, you got 4 days, 4 weekdays to get it gone. I'll hold it for you for a few days, but I'm not going to hold it for a
The
year till you
builder.
find somebody. No, the homeowner.
Oh, okay.
Because it's his hood. Like, I'm not out any money. I didn't
Oh,
buy
okay.
it,
Okay.
And I said, it's yours to do with what you want. And he goes, man, do you think you can keep it over there? And I said, I can keep it over there for 3 or 4 days. That's it.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm
Don't
not
have
fixing to hold
storage
your
space.
hood. Yeah, exactly. Because it's a big one.
Well, speaking of drawers, we got a new drawer box material that I used today for the first time, and I like it a lot. It's some kind of imported, lightweight stuff. I don't know. I can't think what I don't even know what the species is, but it's a UV finish, but it's not ply. It's a wood, but it's
Mm-hmm.
UV coated on all four sides and pre-grooved, which I could care less about it being pre-grooved, to be honest with you, because a lot of times I'd rather just have 12-inch stock and I can just rip it to whatever I want,
Yeah.
instead of trying, well, do I need 8 or 12? Because I don't really prepare for things that way. But boy, it cuts good. I mean, it's a softwood, so it cuts good, and and the symbol is really nice, and but it's in 5/8, so it's
Yeah,
beefy.
which is
It's
good for
beefy.
undermounts. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
but
It's
I
probably
like it.
beach. If I had to guess, it'd probably be beach.
It's very, very blondish white.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, they had a raw version that wasn't pre-finished, and it looked like it was very similar to red oak, like in color.
Oh yeah, that's beach then,
You know,
definitely.
it
Yep.
really,
Yep.
it was
Yep.
cool. I like it. I like it though.
Yeah, a lot of people make their frames out of beach.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So we got the inset job done. The homeowner said that he's an engineer. He engineers subdivisions. Matter of fact,
Oh,
I think the land, drainage, roads, that sort of thing. He draws it
well,
all
we're
out.
looking for internships. I need a phone number.
Yeah. Um, and he said one of his engineer buddies came in to look at the house because they're moving in next week. And he said the first thing he asked him was who made the cabinets.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, so it made me feel good. I mean, it's a good looking job. I'm not going to sit and lie. I'm proud of what I do. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? I
yeah,
mean,
it's
I
a
don't.
good looking. It looked good.
Then the homeowner. So if you don't charge to put on hardware, if you don't have that as a clause, you need to put that on there because I include hardware up to a certain cost per piece, and that comes with installation. And on my proposal, it says if you buy hardware and I install it, I'm gonna charge you minimum, $100 to install it. And I said this is due to the unknown quality of the hardware. So this lady, bless her heart, this is why we have the podcast. So you guys know, don't retail is for suckers.
Yeah,
Don't pay retail. Call your cabinet guy. I could have made $10 a handle on here. I could have pocketed $10 a handle, and she would have saved $10 a handle.
yeah.
She paid $33 a piece for that hardware. A
Oh,
piece. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. And it's
It
screwed
was
on from the front, like with wood screws.
what?
Yeah. Yeah. No drill holes. And then, oh no. We had to lay it out with tape, center
Like
punch.
your granny's handle? Like
Yeah.
it had screws in the front?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. And it came from rejuvenation,
Oh yeah.
rejuvenize.
What's that thing called? Yeah, I know what you're
It's
talking
like
about.
the merit or something, the Mary handle. Anyway, they're expensive. The screws, are absolute garbage.
Are they
They were
brass?
they were brass, but they were cast. They were cast brass. The lacquer was coming off on my hands. I showed the builder. I was like, look, it looked like I dug my hand down in gold dust.
Rejuvenation.
Yeah, rejuvenation. That was them.
Garbage.
Yep. So I mean, it's guys, like don't pay that much for hardware. I can get that hardware for $12 a piece.
Yeah.
15 max. But she wanted to pick her own hardware, and I said, "Oh, no problem. Go ahead." But you have to charge for that because now the installation took 3 times as long as it would with standard hardware.
Yep.
And then on the drawer fronts, right? Remember, these screw with like 3/4 inch wood screws. They screw into the door rail. Well, on a 5-piece drawer front, you can't do that
Right.
with a 1/4 inch, plywood panel. So you had to drill all the way through and insert T-nuts, the little round T-nuts with the teeth on the back side of the drawer. And then you had to use hardware screws, which are smaller than your normal hardware screws.
Huh.
It was a train wreck, dude. I mean, it was horrible.
Yeah. The reason I said brass is because the last one I had that had customer supplied handles was some brass handles, and they kept the threads were terrible inside the
Yep.
handle, and they snap the head off the screw repeatedly.
Yep. Yep. I had 4 of them break. And I don't mean they weren't even tight yet. And yes, I pre-drilled.
Yeah.
Right, I pre-drilled with the drill bit that was the size of the shaft of the screw, which is what you do.
Yep.
And they weren't even tight. I mean, I was with a screwdriver, no impact, no drill, a handheld screwdriver, and they were
Yeah.
just snapping off. So
Golly.
that was hard. I was in here cutting stuff for this big job we're working on now. They're all big nowadays.
Yep.
And walked down there to the tool room. I was in here, walked to the tool room, and with a hammer, and almost just started tearing down my radial arm saw station and all that. I mean, I was close,
Can't get to it, can you? Just
but
no time. No time to
yeah,
get
that's
to
what
it.
I'm saying, man.
No.
We fought, and Trey has got that joker dialed. He went and dialed it in, and it's never been that accurate. I don't know what he did or how he did. Matter of fact, he squared the blade up.
Your old one?
Yep, because we're still using it for now. He squared the blade up with a level.
Huh.
Yeah, like no regard to if the, you know,
Yeah.
well, he may have, I don't know, but he didn't use a square. He just stuck a level on the side of it, but it worked.
Yeah, I mean, if you level the bottom first.
Yeah, but I almost did that, and I had to catch myself because I was like, "You ain't got no help. You're going to be down." It's a 2 day job doing all that, so I decided not to do it.
Well, that $50 one is still for sale near me, but it's just far enough that like I can't conveniently get to it, but I want it. Like I just
Was that the Super 900?
no, it's another one you sent me. It's
Oh,
a I'll tell you.
all right. Um, she rocks in the house. We got that. We're going to a cow sale tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday in Coleman. Chris has to buy a bull, and he said, "Hey, do you want to go?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, dude! I'm always down for a cow sale." Then he calls and he's like, "My wife wants to go," and I was like, "That's fine. Y'all are married. You know what I'm
Right?
saying? Like
It's
she wants
allowed.
to." And he goes, "Why don't all four of us go? Have like a little mini vacay at a cow sale?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm in." Then he calls and he's like, "They don't have any hotel rooms." And I said, "Uh-oh, well, that ain't gonna be no good." He's like, "Yeah, I'll call you back." He calls me back. Dude done found, this is Chris we're talking about, has done found an Airbnb, VRBO, by some creek, some cottage by a creek. And I went and looked it up, and the reviews are great. It's got like 80 pictures. I mean, they send him the link with the code, and all that stuff. So we're going to be, and it's $10 a night cheaper than the hotel.
That's funny. I just hope that it's better looking than the pictures, or it's an actual representation because we looked at a lot of rental property
Yeah.
and I don't know when they took them pictures, but it wasn't recent.
It had like
It was
80
not a fair
reviews.
representation.
Right. It had like 80 reviews and it was 4.9 or something,
Yeah.
so I think it'll be fine.
One thing I've always found with VRBOs is that the reviews are usually spot on. Like they usually
Mm-hmm.
keep you accurate. I mean, because people are usually pretty brutal. If
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
not what they expected it to be.
Yep. I got a friend of mine who had a house just like y'all's, the big house subdivision. And he moved into a smaller house and somebody's like, rent it out, dude. VRBO it.
Yeah.
And he did. And it's doing great. Like weddings. And I don't know how he gets all this business, but it's,
We almost went that way. I mean, we talked about it. I mean,
mm-hmm.
it was a thought consideration, but
Yeah.
yeah, we got to go
Um,
to a funeral this weekend, so had to
that
get a
ain't good.
hotel, wedding really, but same thing
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for real.
in Memphis. So I might not make it back.
You gonna go see Graceland while you over there?
Seen it, not going back.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, ain't nothing, don't a whole lot change over there.
No, I mean I didn't go in it, but I watched the special on Netflix, so I feel like I've been in it.
Yeah, you ain't missing a whole lot. I
Yeah,
mean, it's neat, but eh.
yeah, kind of gaudy.
Um. So speaking of the inset job, the builder
Mm-hmm.
called me.
Oh,
Yeah, gotta lean back for this one.
oh boy.
The old builder called me and said, "Mitch, we got a problem over here, buddy." I said, "All right, what's the problem?" He goes, "Man, refrigerator ain't gonna fit." I said, "You mean that big, huge, 900-pound custom cabinet that we built to go in there?" He's like, "Yeah, it ain't gonna fit." I said, "Okay, why won't it fit?" "Well, your opening's 36. I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "The refrigerator's 36. I said, I'm thinking they're never 36, ever. So I said, "Okay, let me ask you a question. Did you physically, listen to my question. Did you physically measure the refrigerator?"
Okay.
Right. Now, I don't know what that means to everybody else, but it doesn't mean to him what it means to you and I.
Yeah.
Because he said yes.
Okay.
He said, "Yep, it ain't." He said, "I tell you this, it ain't gonna fit." I said, okay. We're going to have to cut these tiles down something. We're going to cut this, make this opening bigger. I'm like, okay, no problem. I'm on the way. Then I get a phone call from the wife that says, your daughter is on the side of the road with an overheated truck. So I said,
Ooh.
well, let me go deal with that. I think it might have been just low water or something. We got to figure it out. But anyway, I dealt with that, got her offside the road. I go over there. Trey, shout out Trey. If you don't have a hype man like I do, dude, you are missing out, man. This dude walks in this house like a boss. I mean, just swings the front door open, stomps right. They had the fridge sitting in the middle of the living room. He walks right to the fridge and without even looking, dude, he pulls that tape and he goes, and he pulls it over and he yells out, 35 and 5/8. I mean, in front of God and everybody.
That Milwaukee wide body didn't lie.
You ain't lying. And I told the builder, I was like, I thought you measured it. He goes, well, it says it's 36-inch fridge. I said, yeah, but it's not 30. They're never 36, ever.
Yeah.
And the propane guy was there hooking up the $11,000 stove.
Right.
So I said, well, while we're here, we'll help you guys, hardwood floors. You don't need to scratch it. I said, we'll help you guys get legs on it. You know what? Hey, I'm a team player,
Right.
because
I'm here.
we're about to address this fridge situation. So we get the fridge and I bring blankets with me, because I figured we're probably going to slide it. So I brought blankets and we get it in. And I was like, dude, you got plenty of room, man. Like, I don't understand why you called me without measuring, why I had to shut my shop down to drive all the way 5 minutes over here, and find out what you got going on. Like, why didn't you measure the thing before you called me, dude? Like, you're a builder, been building 30 years. You don't have a tape measure?
This is one of your normal builders, right? This
No,
isn't an
no.
off. Oh, this is an
This
off
is,
guy.
yep,
Okay.
yep. And
Okay.
will remain that way.
Okay.
So, anyway, we slid the fridge in, dude, and had 3/16 on either side.
Just like you want it.
Yeah, I almost like I designed it for that,
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because you're calling me, and I'm literally shutting the whole shop down to go measure a refrigerator, and you are a builder of 30 years. It's like we have to do better than this.
Yeah.
So anyway, it fit, and I told his little buddy, his little guy that works with him. I said, you know what this is? He goes, what? I said, this is a $150 trip charge. He said, do what? I said, yeah. I said, you said it wouldn't fit. You said it is not going to fit. And I said, we slid it right in. So I'm over here for no reason.
And you said you measured it.
Yeah. And I kind of winked at him. I was like, I ain't really worried about it. Got outside the shop for a minute,
Right.
But that's
But still, I mean, it's still like that guy almost needs to charge to him as a lesson.
Yeah. Yeah. But listen, when these, and I'm not here to talk about anybody. It's their business. But when these people actually walk through and look at their house closely, there's going to be some phone calls made, and they ain't going to be good.
Yeah.
So I'm just, hey, cabinet guy's in, cabinet guy's out. Me and the homeowner are buddies now. He's bragging constantly on the case.
Yeah.
He loves them. His wife loves them. I'm good. I'm gold. And I said, listen, with inset, you don't have a lot of play. Move in, load your drawers, put the pots and pans in them, put the hot pads, put the silverware, mess with them, jiggle them, move them. Then call me and say that one needs to be adjusted. This one needs to, I said, they're all adjustable, but you have to move in and put stuff in them and get it settled, and then I'll adjust them. He's like, all right, cool. And that's
Speaking
just what
of,
you have to do.
I saw a new screw that I want to try for installing drawer faces. It's I had to like screenshot it from a video, and it's really hard to see, but it's on Rockler, but it's a number 8 1-inch screw. But basically they said drill a 5/8 inch hole, and then you run the screw, and then the back quarter doesn't have any threads on it, but it's got a super big head, so that you get some adjustment. You get some. It's not a lot, but when you run that screw through your pre-drilled hole in your box, if you need to, you've got some adjustment in just your face with that screw head and the whole diameter being bigger than the shaft. And I was like, that'd be really
Yeah.
nice to have sometimes. I mean, you know, because
Give me, hey, I'm gonna do something. Give
uh
me, give me 30 seconds. Can you give me 30 seconds?
30 seconds.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me
Yeah.
30 seconds. Ready to go.
All right. 1001,
Keep them entertained.
1002. Oh, so you probably want me to do something besides count the entire time that he's gone. But yeah, because I struggle. I really struggle with putting drawer faces on. So I'm always looking for a different option. But I did download this the other day that I'm gonna send to Mitch um tomorrow morning because I like to send him things just to mess with his head. But it says I dropped by just to give you this. That's all it really says, and just got flipping him
I'm
off.
coming.
But and I said, but that's but
Whew.
that's why we're friends. It's because he's a good dude. He's
Okay.
solid.
All right. All
You
right.
know. Oh,
I had to go get something.
that forehead's a little shiny now. Did you run?
Yeah, man, I'm fat. I'm out of breath, dude. I had to go get something.
Did you jump over the? That looks like what he was talking about.
That's it, dude. Look at that head on that thing.
Yeah, yeah. Where do you order those from?
So these come from Hardware Resources.
Okay,
They're square drive.
love it.
They have a huge, a huge washer head on them, and the threads stop. You
Yep,
got like half inch of threads.
yep.
But yeah, you can absolutely do that with these, and they're cheap. This is what we put all our drawer fronts on with.
Yeah, I need to get on that.
So I wanted to show you. I can send you a link.
Okay.
I'll send you a link. Um, but I wanted to show you, while we were live, because a lot of times when we discuss things, I'll text you after the
Yeah.
podcast. I wasn't gonna do it this time. All right,
All
let's
right.
liven it up. Let's go. Let's see.
Look, I'm still waiting on like the inventory checklist from episode 2. So I mean,
Ooh, yeah, I can send that to you. I can send it. Yeah, I'll send it. My bad, dog. My bad. Um, Another thing I wanted to cover, and this is going to cover Facebook responses
oh yeah, because
and one of mine.
oh
Heavy cabinets. Why? Why do you make big, long, heavy cabinets? Right? Here's the easy answer. A, because I can, all right? And B, we take this island, and what we're talking about is a 15-foot long island by 42 inches front to back. It's huge. It's heavy. No crap, it's heavy. All right. But I'm not by myself. I have
right.
help. We have help to move these things. That comes into consideration. I want to take the island in. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the anchor strips on the floor, right? We're going to go to the trailer. We're going to get the island, bring it in 30 feet, set it down, level it, and screw it. That's it. We're done setting an island in 10 minutes versus building an island in 3 or 4 different boxes. Mind you, the whole back is framed. The whole back has framing on it, the
Yeah.
joints in the middle, but there's not a breakup in the cabinet in the middle.
Okay.
Right? So that means my floor of my cabinet will be sticking out into nowhere land. This one will be sticking out. And after we get to the job site, I would have to tie them together, put cleats on them and all. And now guess what we have? A 15-foot island that we have to pick up and spin and roll over. And we're not doing it. But the amount of anger that it caused that I have the nerve to make a one-piece island for a customer so they don't have joints all in it,
Yeah.
it's like people don't understand that. I don't know why you wouldn't just break it up, and it's like, here's my list of reasons why. And some
How do you get
idiot
that
gets,
through the door on its side?
well, you have to make sure you have double French doors somewhere in the house, and they do.
Yeah.
It's right there
Okay.
where we're backing the trailer up. There's 2 doors, and then the island is 10 feet in the house.
Well, then
You
yeah.
know,
Why wouldn't you?
so that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to spend 5 hours building an island on the job site,
I
and it's
want to
going
be
to
in
get
the shop.
scratched and
I want to do
damaged.
my
Exactly.
assembly and stuff in the shop. I want to be at the customer's house for very little time.
That's it. In and out, man. In and out. And he was like, well, what happens if you have a bulge in the wall? You just going to bend the cabinets around the wall, or what are you going to do? And I was like, well, first of all, this is an island.
Right.
Like, read the post, dude. I told you it had a framed back. I typically don't frame the back of a cabinet in a pretty decorative frame if it goes against a wall.
I mean,
So,
I like to, I like to
yeah.
spend extra time and materials on cabinets just to put it up against crooked drywall.
Yeah. Some of these guys are so ready to just pounce on you, you
Oh,
know,
it's
where you don't read the description, you don't read the post, you don't even know that it's an island.
yeah.
And now you look like an idiot because I was like, okay, let's say you built 4 different boxes. You have a bulge in the wall. What are you going to do? A, bend your cabinets, which I know you're not going to do. B, set that section that's in the bulge out further than the rest of them. I know you're not going to do that. Or C, cut the entire back out of the cabinet and scribe the back to the wall and not have a back on it. I know you're not going to do that. You know what his response was? Well, I didn't know it was an island. I guess that helps. But I'm already 2 beers in, so I'll finish answering this tomorrow. And guess what? I ain't heard a
Nothing.
word out of him.
Ain't nothing.
Ain't heard a word out of him, dude.
Well, I guess I should ask him. I mean, I was just looking at my phone because I got a text. So we've got to deliver a 14-foot long, 6-foot wide tabletop tomorrow. Should we have cut it in half? Like, should we do it in halves and then just
Yeah,
I mean, because that's what a customer wants, 2
yeah.
tops, put
And
together.
lamello it together on the job site and
Yeah,
hope everything goes
I
right,
guess. I mean, the base. I think 3 grown men can lay down in the base of this thing. Like, there's 4 of
Yeah,
us going to carry this table.
yeah, yeah.
I'm
And I
not
mean,
looking forward to
that's
it.
what you have to do. Pay a dude $50 to come hang out with you for a
Yeah.
little while and help you take a cabinet in. I mean,
I
it's
would
not
much rather
complicated.
I would much rather set and go any day of the week
Any
than
day,
I would
man.
to be at a customer's house doing I don't know, like
It's ridiculous. These people, these self-righteous,
well,
jokers on
it's the
here.
Facebook mentality though. I mean, I told you what happened to me when I tried to ask a question on the Rampage the other day. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
I mean, I got called everything but, my name because I wanted to know if the truck could put itself in tow mode for me. Like I was the worst thing ever. I was like,
yeah,
I just sometimes, I stop and I get gas and I crank the truck back up and I forget to hit tow mode again. It'd just be nice if it just
yeah,
stayed in tow mode. I didn't know
yeah.
I was going to offend, your religion by asking this
Well,
question.
let's look at your question. Let's look at how ridiculous that question was.
Well,
You have trucks with backup cameras, right? Then you have trucks that will automatically back up to a trailer
yep,
where you don't have to touch the stinking steering wheel.
yep.
It'll put you right where you need to be.
You got trucks that will reverse their steering mechanism for you when you're backing up, so that you don't have to
Right. So
remember
asking
to
if a
turn opposite directions.
so asking if a truck has an automatic tow mode because my truck detects whether or not there's weight on the back and it adjusts the engine brake, right? The Jake brake, the
Yep.
exhaust brake. It adjusts that based on the load that you have. So
Well,
it knows something is back there.
and that was why I asked, because when I plug in the 7-pin, it starts a trailer odometer. Like, I know exactly how many miles have been towed with the trailer because there's a trailer odometer. I was like, well, if it can recognize that,
Yep. Yep.
can it not? And that was the guy's point was, well, trucks are already so expensive you can't afford them. That's just what we need is one more feature. I was like, well, I kind of agree with you to an extent, but like, let's take away the counter steering feature in a truck because I know which way to turn my steering wheel because I'm a
Right.
grown man and I know how to back a trailer up. I was like, but I am a man, so I forget to press a button every once in a while. Can
Yep.
can we skip? And then I rented a U-Haul for the move. You know what a U-Haul does when you crank it up?
Hmm.
It's in tow haul mode automatically. You have to
Yeah.
turn it off. So I was like, I feel like it's doable. Like
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's doable. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Our Honda Pilot's got automatic cruise control, automatic headlights, automatic when you put it in reverse, the mirrors go down. And
I took
I
the
mean,
post down.
it's
I just
like
still didn't get the question answered. And I even, this is how cautious I was. I was like, I know that it's not technically a fifth because it's a fifth gen Rampage, and I drive a 2500, which they will quickly let you know that a 2500 is not technically a fifth gen. So I started the
Oh,
post with, even though it's in the right year model, but it's not technically a fifth gen. So I was like, I know I drive a 2021 Ram 2500, which I know is not technically a fifth gen, but is it possible? Like, I tried. I was like, oh, I'm ahead of this. Like, I'll cut off all the negative. Oh, it's not a fifth
yeah,
gen. Why are you posting that in here? You know, Jesus. But yeah,
yeah. It's you can't hardly get nowhere.
but yeah, I mean, I notice it all the time with people jumping on the comments. I mean, and like that guy with you with the the styles on or I mean with the rails on the drawers, and I was like, because I had to be really careful because I'll just be like, hey, look, hey, a hole, like I don't
Yeah,
really care,
yeah,
like why do you have to be a jerk? I mean,
right.
but that's just some people just live,
But at the same
to
time, you and I can also look at a post and we would
oh
go,
yeah,
man, that ain't right. You know why?
and I can
But
just
we
keep
don't poo
scrolling.
poo on them. That's
No,
right. You don't
no,
get on there poo poo on somebody's. Dude, they're trying. They're, if they're posting their work,
yeah,
you automatically just about get a pass because you're actually posting what you do,
yeah.
But the ones that
Now,
never post anything, they got the most to say.
if you post, what could I have done different? What do you see?
That's
I
it.
will, but I'll
Roast
try to
me.
tell you in a, but I won't try to roast you. Like I will tell you like, hey, I think that's effed up, because I would like for somebody to tell me that I did something jacked up, because it's your
Absolutely.
product, like it's your job. Like you're not gonna go hell. It's in, but it looks like total shit. Like you're
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I did a good job, man. I'm tired. I felt like I feel like I did the best that I could. And then it's kind of like we've talked about there. I mean, you go back and look at the very first project you did, and you're like, oh my god, I did that! Like,
Yep.
holy Moses!
Yep.
It's a constant progression of stuff. I mean, but it's
Yeah.
interesting. I mean,
And
like like this table right here, behind me, we're gonna put a new top on it. This one, where? How do I point?
mhm.
I can't point. It's right
Just
there.
back. Yep. That way.
Yep. And but that'll be my first like white oak. We're gonna do a white oak top. We're just gonna use the base because Kim likes the way that I painted the base. But that'll be like my first like big glue up with like cutting a circle, and And I asked Derek, I was like, "Can we put that skirt, like that skirt on the bottom?" He's like, "I've never done that before." I was like, "Oh well, we don't have to." He's like, "If you want to figure it out, we'll figure it out." Like I was
Right.
like, "Well, I don't want. I
I
don't want. I
saw.
don't want to figure it out though."
Yeah. I want you to tell me you can do it and then show me.
Yeah.
I saw a Facebook post today and I commented on it. And the post says competition happens at the bottom. The people at the top are all collaborating.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I don't know if these guys are insecure about what they're doing. They're not confident in what they're doing. They're not willing to learn. They know it all. That's usually the ones that you have to watch.
Yep.
Which brings me to my next. See how I'm tying all this stuff together. My
Well,
next
it's
point
it's like we planned this episode or something.
it deals with helping fellow cabinet makers or welders, whatever you do, helping each other out. I told you about the guy that boosted me the AR-15,
Uh huh.
right? Well, those cabinets are in. He's struggling with it. This lady is apparently she is tough to work for. I don't know anything about the job. I just designed the cabinets for him. Whatever he told me. But anyway, she's really hard to get along with. She doesn't understand time frames. She don't understand what's going on or what she asked for versus what she got. It's horrible. And so he's kind of been like, dude, I don't know what to do, man. What would you do? And he was over here the other day. We ordered doors for him. And I was explaining to him how much different you have to do things on inset.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, and I was like, you do this. This is what I do. And he's like, man, if I could see it. And I said, dude, it's 5 minutes down the road. Let's go. So I messaged the homeowner. They're not moved in yet, but I'm not going to show up without them knowing I'm there.
Right.
I told him, I said, hey, I got a fellow cabinet maker that's starting the inset job. Do you mind if I take him to your place? And he goes, dude, heck yeah, take him over there and show him, whatever. And I said, okay, cool. I took him over there, and as soon as he saw it, he was like, "Oh, that now I get it. You know, you got to have somewhere to put the doors, and you have to have this, and you have to think about that." And he sent me a text, man. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you what happened. He sent me a text message, and he goes, "Dude, I can't thank you enough for helping me so much." He said, "There's not a lot of people out there left like that. You know,
Yeah.
that we're in the same industry. Technically, we could be each other's competition. You know, but we're always, you know, helping each other and talking to each other and stuff." And I'm walking him through this inset job because he's been a general contractor for a long time.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Dude, I used to think myself, why is this cabinet guy asking me all this? It's just boxes." And he said, "But here I am making them." And he goes, "Dude, this is a whole nother, it's a
Yep.
whole nother level, you know." And I said, "Yeah, it's not just, we joke and say it's just boxes, but it's really not, you know."
You know, my very first job I did for Derek had inset doors on it. I was like, no big deal.
Yeah.
Well, slap me silly. You know what I'm talking about? Really fun. Do inset boxes on a Murphy bed
Oh,
because they got all kinds of wonky, I mean, and
hardware and
well, and it doesn't stay the way you built it at all. I mean,
yeah,
it moves.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. But
Speaking, I'm gonna can I sidetrack you for just 1 second because just
yeah.
talking about that reminded me that we did get the charity build done,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and got it in, and you talking about one super excited kid. I
Good deal.
mean, it was just continually seeing post, and I actually messaged the designer today. She posted something, and I sent her a little message. He was sitting at the desk on the front of the bed, and it was kind of his first time really using the desk. I said, I hope he's loving it, and she said he is just beside himself, in this room. Um, it was just it was just a super super phenomenal thing to be a part of. I mean, just the mom just over the moon appreciative, for everything that everybody did for them, and the room just come out. I mean, superb. Finishers come in, um, iron ore black, which is a fun color to paint,
Oh, I hate
already.
iron
I
ore.
was like, of course, like they asked for, for a free paint job. It's like the hardest color, one of
Yep.
the hardest colors there are to paint, but they come in and they knocked it out. I mean, only thing that's a little sad is the hard maple desk top. They painted it. I really wish they had left a little bit of, but it looked really good. It blended in well. Like it was just kind of hard to see that wood get painted, because
Yep.
it's a nice wood, but it blended in super well. I'll send you some pictures of it if I hadn't, but just phenomenal. The goat turf come in, they put that turf in the room. I mean, it was just and it the kid has so much room now to do things like
Right.
and he needed it because he's got braces on his legs, so sometimes he has a walker, sometimes he doesn't, so sometimes he needs assistance. So with just that bed in the middle of the room, it just took up a whole bunch of area, and now the bed's folded up all the time and he's just got all this, all this room to play and everything.
And get in there and get down. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in Titans, so like the bifold closet doors, like that he looks at, they wrapped it with a it looks like Titan Stadium. Like it looks like people in the crowd, like in the
Yeah.
stands. Like it looks like he's looking from the field up to the bleachers. It's
That is
it
neat. Ain't it
it
neat what a designer can do?
oh it's well, and a lot of people donating a lot of money to make to make it all happen. Just really come through. But
Right.
it was just a good thing. It just made you. I was like, I can't remember what happened. Something happened later that day, and Kim's like, she asked me something. I said, I'm just not going to allow myself to have a bad day today. We did a good thing today. Like we did a good thing, and I'm just not going to allow today to be bad. Like it felt good, but it's done, and everybody they just really came through.
Yeah. And it's nice that you don't have a lot of bickering and all that kind of stuff. And,
Yeah,
it's like everybody has a common goal and they want to go in there and they want to do it and get it done.
yeah,
And typically it works out really good that way.
yeah. I would
Um,
say probably the worst thing about it was actually probably in some ways too much help. I mean,
yeah.
the day we were there to do the work and the install, there was almost like too many people in the house trying to get things done. Uh, but I mean, too much help was a good problem to have,
Yeah.
But
I'm glad. Hopefully, maybe I'll get to do something like that one day. Not a lot of charity stuff gets done around here,
yeah, I mean, just
but you never know. I
you
mean,
never
that
know.
daggum hometown makeover, something might come to Grady one day. You don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Oh, speaking,
it was just super humbling to be invited to be a part of it too. Just to think
yeah,
that you can do something that's good enough, like that people would want you to participate.
yep, yep. I like, there's nothing wrong with people giving you that mindset. That you do good work.
Yeah.
You're an honest person. You do good work. You do what you say. That's just normal. But man, in today's day and time, buddy, I mean, if you just do what you say you're going to do, you stand out well above the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one of the first things Charlie told me. He said, answer the phone and do what you say you're going to do, and you'll do fine.
Oh man, you were talking about your buddy and the challenges with that customer. So I've got a customer that is just putting me through the ringer, and not for anything that we've done, but because the finisher is has been him hauling around for like 2 weeks, you know. And I mean, like, to the point where she was like, "Do you have somebody else you can refer me to?" And I was like,
Yeah.
you know, and you're trying to like balance it out,
Mediate.
and not,
Yeah.
yeah, and not be the bad guy in the middle. Well, then he shows up, and and he's like, then I get a text. She's like, "Does this sound like the right price? Like, I didn't know that the finish was going to cost as much," or she said the paint was going to cost as much as the product, as the cabinets. And I was like, and I don't know. I don't paint. Like, I don't know what the pricing is on it. Like, that's not my bag. And I really don't know what he charges. Like, but I just said, yeah, it sounds like a fair price. I was like, because remember, he's not painting. He's finishing a cabinet. Like, it's not the same. This is not the same thing as painting a wall,
Yeah.
but what am I supposed to do? Go, yeah, that sounds incredibly high. I mean, I
Your
wouldn't pay
buddy's
that,
calling you going, what
you
the
know?
crap, man?
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh my God, what do I do? And then,
Yeah.
oh, well, he said, you're going to come back and put the hardware on. When can you do that? And I'm like, yes, I told you we would come back and do the hardware once it was finished, once it was painted, I mean, I don't know when I can do it. Also, I'm the builder. I'm not the guy that you paid. Like, feel feel free
Yeah.
to contact the person that you actually paid money to. I'm just the installer technically for her,
Yeah.
but if I'd looked at everything like that, like, that's not my problem. That's not my bag.
And
She already obviously has differentiation problems with who's responsible for what. She's going to throw the whole thing under the bus. Like,
yeah,
she's just going to throw us all under the bus with going, well, they're not responsive. It told me it wasn't my problem. And
that's it. And then all three of you get a bad rap for
yep,
nothing.
yep. I mean, I'm
You
already
know.
trying to keep us in good grace with the painter who won't call her back.
Yeah, it just it's a big giant circle, and I've always believed that if you do good, you get good. And I'm not this some sort of Buddhist or whatever religion that is that thinks if you do good things, you'll come back as a butterfly or something. I'm just saying that
You
in
hear them
life,
loud salt shakers? I mean, it's so
if you treat people right, it'll come back to you. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Well, you answer
it
your
always
phone.
comes back.
You don't dodge people.
Right.
Give them an answer. It's really simple. I mean, it is really, at the end of the day. You know Sometimes it's not a phone call you want to take. Sometimes it's a problem customer, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and yeah, sometimes your day is not in a position where you should answer the phone right that moment or even that day. But call them back in the morning, like,
Yep.
sleep on it, get you an hour of rest, and or whatever you need to do. Go let off a magazine at 9 millimeter, and then call them back. Go, all right,
That's
what
it.
can I do
That's it.
for you? I mean, whatever you got to do to.
A few minutes ago, I got a text where a lady texted me the other day and was asking me a question. I was like, yeah, that should work. And she asked me another question. This was 5 minutes ago. I said, hey, what do you think about this? Would this work? And I just said, yeah, that should be fine. Here's what I would do. And I sent it, you know, and nobody else knew that,
Yeah,
because we're doing a podcast,
right.
and it's 8 o'clock at night. And I, I could be like, hey, don't bother me. But this lady, you go case by case.
Yep.
You know, this lady, her bathroom got flooded, and they having to completely redo half of their house because not just the bathroom, the living room, their kitchen, their foyer, everything was under an inch of water. So they're confined to one tiny room in the backside of the house, and she needs, cabinets and stuff. And
Yeah.
she's asking, so, but yeah, just answer the phone, answer a text message. It's not that hard. And I
Yeah.
forget, I will forget one. Like somebody will send me one, and I'll be running the saw. Well, buddy, 8 hours later, like I'm not remembering that text. So you
Well,
do
the
what you
best
can.
thing Apple ever did was be able to allow you to mark a text as back as unread. Like
Yeah,
that's my thing. Like if I read it and I'm like, all right, I really don't need to deal with this right now. Like for whatever reason, I
yep,
mark it back under. I got one that's been sitting here for her message of when can I come is back marked back to unread so that I remember to give her a date. Like so that it
yeah.
doesn't. It's the loudest Coke opening I've ever heard in my life.
Hey man, just let it happen, dude.
Hey, come
Let it
sit over
happen.
here. You can eat on camera with me.
Yes, yes. Bring her over there.
She ain't coming over here. She just took a shower. She got wet curly hair. Oh, so here she comes. She said,
Wet
"I
hair
don't
don't care.
mind."
Oh, there it is. Wet hair don't care.
Wet hair don't care. She eats some chicken
Yeah.
and green. She got some chicken and green beans going on over there.
I want to hear forks clanging, and I want to hear I need her to drop the fork at some point.
Just let a fork hit the floor.
Yep.
Well, I don't know
Yep.
that you'd hear it on this floor because it's snap LVP. It's kind of makes a weird noise when things hit it.
Well, I got a couple of more things, and then we can go back to general conversation. You ready?
Yeah, what you got?
So the job I'm doing right now, we started on it last week.
Oh,
Um, for whatever reason, I completely did not realize how complicated this was going to be. There, just for plywood, okay,
okay.
you have 1/4 inch maple, 1/4 inch raw, 1/4 inch UV one sided, 1/2 inch maple, 1/2 inch raw, 1/2 inch UV one sided, 1/2 inch UV two sided, 3/4 birch, 3/4 two sided, 3/4 maple, 3/4 alder. That's just the plywood. Then you have select maple, stain grade, poplar, paint grade, and knotty alder, stain grade.
I'm
That's
out.
just the base materials for this job.
My
A
head
lot of
hurts.
closets. I've never done a whole lot of closets before. This has got 7 closet units, mantles, floating
See, I don't
shelves.
understand how you're doing those pre-built. Like I just don't. But
It's the same as a cabinet.
it is.
Now, there's some things you can't do pre-built, like corner shelves,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. You just don't do them. You just
Yeah.
build them in units and say, here's what you get because I have to pre-finish it in the shop. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
And you just do it. You say, I'm not going to come to your house and paint. I don't do that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. Just
But yeah,
shelf walls are. I mean, closet walls are god awful usually. Like
yep. Yep. Because nobody cares. Framers don't care. It's like it's just
yeah.
closet.
So
But
like
a
if you
lot of
do
neat
like a
stuff.
shelf, like a closed like a what am I trying to say? Like a rod, and you do like a shelf above it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing a back on that?
Yeah.
Or
Full
are you?
backs.
Oh, you're doing full backs. Okay,
Full
that's the only
backs.
way that'll work. Then that's
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
Yep. I built it just like giant overheads with no doors, basically.
yep, yep,
Is what we're doing because that's what we're used to doing.
yeah,
And there's a lot of stuff Trey and I have talked about this a lot lately. Just because one thing is different, don't mean we have to change everything in the shop. When I design, I try to design them all within our parameters and what we usually do. It may not be the status quo. They get a better product, in my opinion, with having full backs on the closets. It's more rigid and whatever. But a trim guy who's trimming out the house and they say, hey, build these closet systems, he's not going to do that, when rightly so.
right,
He's going to have his own way to do it because he's got a contractor's table saw. But me, I've got a cabinet shop. We can, make them in solid units and just go screw them
yeah,
to the wall,
yeah. Like I
But yeah,
pre-rip like all my stuff. Like I pre-rip everything, and then I'm just doing cross cuts on site. Like when I do
yeah,
a closet,
yep. And that's one way. That's another good way to do it. I'm just not used to doing them.
I don't
So I
like
was like,
doing them. I
well,
don't like doing builds on site.
I don't. Yeah, I try to avoid that. But this customer is really cool. Um, they own one of my favorite stores. They own two of them in Troy. Um, but and I can't give it out because then some weirdo may look them up. But anyway, they're super nice people, dude. Super easy to get along with, and all. I called her during the Alabama football game one time because she was like, "Hey, call me when you get a minute." She answered the phone. She was like, "You don't watch football, do you?" And I said, "No." She goes, "Well, Alabama's playing. Call me back in an hour." I was like, "All right." I'll call it, and that's
I
just the way
understand.
she is.
I understand what I've done. I am
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah. But they're super easy to get along with. But it's going to be beautiful alder kitchen, 5-piece raised panel, applied molding doors. I mean, just it's going
Is
to
this the
be.
Alder kitchen from like? I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time, like for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's been
Yep.
in the planning phase. Okay, so I'm ready to see
Yep.
this one come to fruition.
Yeah, it's gonna be one for Facebook, buddy. It's gonna be
Yeah,
nice. We got that coming up, and then I've got to talk. I've been holding off, but I got to talk about my new hobby.
tell me what you got because I
And you,
can't. I still can't
you don't
remember.
remember?
I no.
All right.
I
Well, let's
remember.
listen.
I'm gonna feel real stupid as soon as you say it because I remember us talking about it,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
can't.
it's fine. I'm not gonna put you on the spot, live on a podcast to try to act like you're my friend. I'm not. I wouldn't do that to you. But no,
Hey, what did I tell you? Mitch's new hobby was
I would call it phone a
phone
friend.
a friend. Yeah, didn't I tell you his new hobby? I thought we talked about it. All right, spill the beans.
She's no help. Jerky.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
jerky. I didn't tell you. Oh, I didn't tell her.
Yeah, she's innocent. Don't be trying to drag her into this. She's innocent.
Don't talk with food in your mouth.
I'd remember. But anyway, yeah, so Charlie and I went to go double check a house that he went and measured. I'm just saying, before we build him, I'm going to go double check behind him.
Yeah.
Good thing I did. A few things have changed.
Tape measure reads different these days than it did back in
Yeah,
the
like
day.
they went from a 2-foot deep island with a 1-foot overhang to a 6x10 island top. 6 feet front to back.
Okay.
So that, we kind of need to know that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we stopped by Bucky's in Auburn, and he was like, "I want to get some jerky." And he's a dollars and cents guy. I'm not going to get into that. Just trust me. It is unbelievable what this man. He's not like
That's the wrong store to walk into then.
yeah. He's not like what do you call that? Like somebody who reuses their bath water to wash dishes. He's not that. But he goes, okay, so a bag of 2.5 ounces is $9. But over here, we could get 2.5 ounces if we bought it in bulk for $8 or, $9.10 or whatever it is, a little bit
Yeah.
cheaper. So we went in on halves and we bought half a pound of jerky a piece. And we were talking about how expensive it was.
It is through the
And
roof.
yeah, and he goes, I used to make my own jerky and bring the installs. That was my lunch. I'd eat a little bit of jerky, a little bit of cheese, whatever. And so, my wheels get going because, I will jump on something quick.
Yeah.
I'll wake up and have a new hobby. And so I kind of thinking, and I started watching videos on people making beef jerky. And I was like, well, what the crap? There's nothing to it. Like, that's easy,
Was it?
you
Yeah.
know? And so I talked my wife into buying a dehydrator, which, by the way, guys, it will also do fruits, strawberries, bananas, apples. And when I told her that, she was like, oh, yeah, because then if we have bananas that are about to go bad, I can dehydrate them. I'm like, yeah. And you can put them put them on the shelf and they'll last for months.
Yeah.
That'll save us money. And I'm like, yeah, we need to get it. And she's like, yeah, let's go get it. So I made a first tiny little test batch.
How much does a dehydrator cost to get this to offset? Like, I'm just curious.
From $40 to, however high you want to go, $20,000.
I'm sure the sky
But
is
the
the limit.
average cost is $150 for
Okay, that's not bad.
a good reputable dehydrator. I got
So that's
the one
one
from
trip to Bucky's.
yeah, basically yeah. And so I looked up where I was going to get one from Amazon, and I was like, I really want to see it. And so I looked up Bass Pro. I called a buddy of mine who used to make jerky, and he goes, Cabela's makes a good dehydrator. They had it on sale from $149 to $129. So I told Tammy, I said, hey, let's drive up to Prattville to Bass Pro and let's get it. And she's like, all right, cool. We can eat out, while we're going. So I go get the dehydrator, bring it home. That night, I marinated some beef, stuck it in there the next day at 160 for 7 hours, and it was freaking delicious, dude. And so I told Chris, I said, I'm getting into jerky. I'd like to make you some. I said, what do you want? Sweet, spicy, smoky, whatever you want. He goes, dude, I want hot, like my hot. And his hot is ghost pepper, habanero. His hot is hot.
He needs that new Carolina Reaper crossbreed thing.
Mm-hmm. So I said, okay, I'll make you some. So I went and got a bunch of meat on my second batch. And we made teriyaki. We made like peppered. I made a sweet one. I made a dry rub one. And then I made his. And it's half a pound of meat. It's got 2 habaneros finely chopped, extra hot sauce, and red pepper flakes.
Gee,
and I stuck it in there, and I was like, it's going to be hot now. And he's like, yeah, that's what I want, hot. And so I talked Trey into trying it today because it was done at lunch. And I said, dude, I'm not going to try it. I said, but, you need to try it and just see, because he can handle hot stuff better than I can. And he got a tiny piece, dude. And he's sitting there looking at it. He goes, dude, it's going to be hot. You could see the piece of habanero on the outside of it. And so he pops his mouth. He goes to chewing on it, And homemade beef jerky is not nearly as tough as what you get from the store. It's a lot different. So he's chewing on it. He goes, dude, the flavor is there. He said, man, I can kind of feel the heat starting to come in. He said, but this is good. And he lasted about 15 seconds. And that sucker went to the trash can, went to spit it out. He goes, nope, I can't do it no more. He's like, he spits it out. He's like, that something goes hot. And I was like, good. It flavors good, because I told Chris, I said, I don't know if it's going to be good, but it's going to be hot.
Because I can't taste it to know whether.
That's right.
I don't want nothing to do with it.
So that's.
We've got Nashville hot chicken up here, right? Like that's like the thing. And there's a place, there's a couple of them, but back when I worked at the gun range, they would get hot chicken from one of the places. And like one of the tiers is like, kind of like what you're talking about. Like I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And they had a bunch of it, and they had a bowl sitting there on the gun counter, like waiting on customers and, eating in between. And one of the guys was like, that's, the scorcher or whatever, the top tier was. He's like, don't, you probably don't want that. I was like, okay, cool. Well, one of the owners walked by and grabbed one out of it. And I was like, hey, he said that was hot. He said, I like hot. And he put it in his mouth. And I'm talking about like, as soon as he put it in his mouth, he was on his knees on the floor. Like he was like, I mean, instant regret that he had put that thing in his mouth. I mean, it was
no way. I can't do it.
I can't either. I mean, sometimes the salsa at the Mexican restaurant is too spicy for me.
Yeah, me and Tammy will do that, and I'll be like, man, Grandpa must be back there making it tonight. Well, it's a little and really, on a scale of 1 to 100, it's like a 3.
Oh yeah. Oh well, we get like the grocery store here makes, or Kroger's make pico de gallo in the store. Well, obviously we've got a new grocery store now, and she brought some home from the new one, and they make it in house. And it's super chunky on this one. And I was like, well, I don't know about that. And she mixed it with this chicken sausage that she makes. I was eating. I was like, it's definitely hotter. Like, it's not, I was like, but it's definitely hotter than the other. And she's like, I don't feel a difference. I was like, yeah.
Do you know what hot? Do you know what pico de gallo means in Spanish?
Hot mix of stuff in bucket.
Nope. Not even close.
What is it?
Rooster's beak. Yeah, how about that for a free fact? Are you checking me?
Yep.
All right, check me, and you're gonna have to announce on the podcast that I was right.
I'm trying to. It's gonna take me for the rest of the podcast to spell it. Pico de gallo.
De gallo. But anyway, yeah. So I'm loving making beef jerky, dude. I didn't know, and there's a guy in the cabinet group, Jamie. Did you see us going back and forth?
Hey, what does pico de gallo mean, babe? Do you know? Apparently it means beak of rooster.
I told you. I be knowing these things, man.
So why do we, I don't understand that. Why do we call it that?
because they say that Pico de Gallo has some of the same colors of a rooster's beak. So it's kind of loosely translated into rooster's beak.
Translated in Spanish, pico de gallo literally means beak of rooster.
Yep.
Some believe this was originally eaten by pinching between the thumb and the finger, making the shape of the rooster's beak.
I told you, dude. I got all kind of facts, man.
It's a rooster's beak
There you go.
to eat it.
Yep.
However, has nothing to do with roosters or birds in general.
Mm-mm. No. See there?
Well,
I told you.
learn something new every day. And now the Off the Rails podcast has educated you.
That's right. Now you can bet somebody $20 that you know what it means. And
Today's Spanish lesson is brought to you by the letter P and the animal of the rooster.
no, it's brought to you by Benford Tools.
And our sponsor, Benford Tools.
But yeah, so I for whatever reason, I'm super excited about making jerky because the possibilities are endless.
See, now you kind of make me want to get back into it because I was doing it for a while, but I was smoking it.
Yeah, a lot of people do that nowadays with Traegers and stuff,
Yeah.
Super easy. Super easy to do. And Trey and I both love it. So, it's easy for me to justify.
What are you using for a meat source?
Top round, bottom round, London broil, which is top round, flank steak, or sirloin. Anything that's super
I like
lean.
flank steak the best. I think.
Yeah, if you cut flank steak across the grain, it's really good.
You got to cut it right. Yep.
Yeah, you got to cut it right. Yep. So, but we got top round, bottom round, and sirloin. And then I wrote recipes, what I did, because I'm just making it all up now. And I hadn't made a bad batch. It's really hard to make a bad batch of jerky.
You do need to write down what you did though, quantities and because when you hit it, you're like, oh, I need to replicate that, and it's super hard to replicate. Like
it is
exactly. Like and it matters. Like the cut of the meat matters, the quantity of the meat, like the marinade time. How long did you let it marinate? Like it all matters.
Flank steak across the grain has been the most tender.
Yeah.
And then the eye round is always good. Just anything that's lean.
I think it's because of the grain. Like the grain is big.
Yeah.
And
it's super straight.
Yeah. So it makes it like bite size. Like it makes it, in these it's almost like a Hershey's bar, where it's got the little lines for it to break on. It's kind of how it does,
Yep. But it's really good, a healthy snack. I mean, it's not full of, depending on what you put in it,
Yeah.
But, dude, all those preservatives and all this stuff that they put in beef jerky at the store, that stuff's not good for you.
Yeah.
And I just said, I'm not going to buy it if I can make it. So I'll keep you updated on how that's going. I may send you some.
There you go.
Because it's got a good shelf life. You can put it in the mail. We'll vacuum seal it or something for you.
Well, speaking of mail, I have some bad news.
Uh-oh. I got a feeling I'm going to like this. I got a feeling I'm about to laugh at you.
I am no longer in the Amazon funnel of ideal shipping.
I meant to ask you that earlier.
It is bloody ridiculous. Let me just say this. I have never waited for so long to get things in my life.
What do you have to wait, a day?
Oh, no. It's like 3 or 4 days. Like
you moved 20 minutes down the road.
Right? But somewhere it's unreal. Like, I don't know. So like we're shipping stuff to the school and she can just pick it up at work.
Oh, so you got to work around. You dirty. You still got to work dog.
Around. Yeah. Right hand to God, I was like, hey, can we get a P.O. box in Spring Hill? Like,
yeah.
I almost like it took, it's when you're used to it, it's not, and it's really not that big of a deal. It's not, we're not talking about like earth shattering stuff, but when you're used to being able to get stuff like next day, overnight, it is an adjustment. I will say that. I needed a optic cable for the TV because my old one wasn't long enough anymore. And it took like a week. But if I sent it to the school, I could have gotten it overnight.
That's crazy, ain't it? 20 minutes down the road.
Right?
I sat out there the other night. Last night, matter of fact, it was dark when I left and it was quiet. And
Well,
I
that was at
just
3 o'clock when you left. Then.
right, yeah, yeah. Oh. And I just sat out there for probably 20 minutes, dude. And not the first car came by. Everything was quiet. Because my neighbor went to assisted living. I talked to him last night.
Yeah.
He's doing great. I went and checked on his place for him. But talked to him, because he sits there all day.
Yep.
So I try to call him every few days and pick on him. We cuss each other out a little bit, call each other sorry. And it's one of them kind of guys. But anyway, just sitting out there, dude, going, man, it's so nice. I called the other neighbor and messed with Corey, the welder.
Corey the welder. How's
Yep,
he
ain't
doing?
heard nothing. Well, I got some bad news. So
Uh-oh.
I called him and I said, hey, I need to make some brackets for the front porch post, to hold them up off the concrete so they don't rot.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, no problem. And I was like, here's what I'm thinking, but you just come up with something. Let me know how much it is. I'll pay you. He's like, all right, cool. Send me a text at 7:30 the next day. Said I can't do it. I said, that's fine. He said that the huge company that he works for, they're a factory that makes something, and he's kind of like in a subsidy of that company, different name, same company kind of deal. He said there was a dude in there just making stuff like running a business out of there, stealing material and
Oh.
all that. And he goes, we can't do it anymore.
Oh, no
I
side
was like,
work.
that? Yeah. So I was like, one bad apple, dude.
And I guess he doesn't have the ability to do it at home, huh?
Yeah, he doesn't. He sold all his, portable
Mm.
welding stuff. So
Man, I hate that, Corey. Like, man,
yeah,
find your workaround. Like,
and he felt bad about it, because like I said, he would do it if he could,
oh
but
yeah, yeah.
people take advantage of the system, dude,
Oh,
and we're stuck with no brackets.
I was talking to Carson the other day. Because she works at Chick-fil-A, and she's like, there's this officer that comes in there, and she's like, and I know he knows he gets to eat for free. Like, he knows his meal's free. So he pulls his wallet out every time. And it's like, oh, okay. I said, because the 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 code of ethics, like, is
Yep.
that you shouldn't be in there if you're not willing to pay for your food. Like, you shouldn't be going to a place to eat because you know that they're going to give you a free meal. Like, that's just not the way that it works ethically, right? And I was telling her, I was like, I remember back in the day, like, as a cop, like, we could eat on duty at Pizza Hut. We could go in and eat off the buffet for free. I was like, until one officer decided to take his entire family in there and show his butt because he had to pay.
Yeah.
I was like, and
Yep.
and guess what? Now, no, nobody got to eat for free. I was like, people, when they take advantage of things, of gifts that people give you, I do it on like the cabinet page or like the handyman page. They start ripping about the military discount at like Home Depot and Lowe's. Well, they didn't give me a discount on this. I'm like, because they don't have to. They can
Yeah.
absolutely pick and choose. If they want to give you a discount, they can decide, hey, we're going to give you $100 a year in discounts, and that's it. Once you use it up, that's all you're going to get. That's all a gift. And I know a couple of people have asked like about like their sidekicks using the shop, and you've posted on there, and because a guy's like, well, what's a fair thing for the owner to charge me to use his shop? And my answer is whatever the hell he wants to. Like,
Yeah. At the end
I
of the
mean,
day. Yep.
at the end of the day, it's his stuff. I mean,
Yep.
there is no fair. I mean, there's no real fair answer for that. I mean, it's there's things that make him a nicer guy and not so nice of a guy, but it's all his stuff. Like, he could say
And
no personal use.
you don't know, like, it don't cost that much here in electricity to build a swing.
Right.
You run the dust collector a little bit and the table saw, whatever. But in a big cabinet shop, they may have like a 200 amp dust collector. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
That actually cost a tangible amount of money to run for 20 minutes while you're
Yeah.
in there building a birdhouse for your girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? You don't know
Yeah.
what their overhead is. You don't know what their insurance is. You don't, maybe maybe their insurance says, okay, we'll insure you, but you can't let you guys come in and do this or whatever.
Or
So
what happens when you get hurt?
that's right. You have to
You-
be careful with that kind of thing,
yeah.
and just say, here's what I do. But what you do is completely your business. That's the
Yeah.
point of it being your business,
Yeah.
you know?
Sometimes when people ask things like that, I don't know, it's just kind of, I just have to stay out of it because I mean, I just want to say whatever I mean, this is a stupid question. Whatever he charges is what he charges. Like, if you don't like it, find a better employer, like, or a different, not a better, but a different employer. I
Yeah,
mean, but he's the one that's got his neck out on the line for whatever it is.
that's it. And it's same thing with asking how much you charge. Like, well, what's your overhead? What's
Yeah.
your annual cost to run your business?
Right.
You know.
What should I charge for this cabinet? I love that question. Hey, give me 5 seconds. I want to show you something I got. Speaking
Okay.
of Amazon,
You all right?
it's going to take more than 5 seconds though.
See, he's lying already. Look at him lying. How long was I gone? Was I gone 30
Ah,
seconds?
crap.
I don't even. It ain't that far away. It can't be that far away. I think he's coming back. Here he is.
Hey, you know why your wife is the one that always has to find stuff for you?
Because she moves it.
It's because she's moved it. Yep. Yep. This was not where I thought it was. So speaking of Amazon, I have waited. This has taken almost a week to get here. It's ridiculous. But I got a new toy that I'm excited about. I've been wanting one
Ooh,
of these and just been putting it off, putting it off.
show and tell. Let's see it. Oh, featherboard? Mag
Yep.
switch or no?
Mag switch. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I got the mag switch. So the off and on. So for those of you who don't know what this is, so this is a featherboard. So it's designed. How do I do this where it makes sense? So this is designed for things to feed this way. So these are springy, like so you kind of put it close, but not too close to your workpiece, and and as your workpiece goes by there, it puts pressure against it to keep it, up against a fence or to keep it, to keep it tight to something. But this particular one, so these switches are magnetic, but what's cool about them is that you can turn the magnets off and on, which I do not understand
Me either.
at all how you can turn a magnet off and on, but they do. So they're in the off position. You just turn this dial and it's in the on position. And so it would stick to your saw. But then it's got and I've been doing this a lot here lately for cutoffs. I don't know if Mitch, I don't know if you ever use this technique, but I will set if I'm going to have a cutoff that's going to fall, especially when I'm using the slider, but if I'm going to have that cutoff fall between the blade and my fence, I will use my 1, 2, 3 block. So I'll set, let's just say easy math. I want a 25-inch piece. I will set my fence at 26 inches. I will put my 1, 2, 3 block on 1 inch so that I can butt right up to that. Right. So I butt that up to there. So I'm at 25 inches, but as soon as I start cutting and I leave, the block stays in place. So now I've got a 1 inch gap between my fence and the piece so that when it falls off, I don't get any kickback. It doesn't
That's
spin
right.
into it. But this lets you do that as well. It's got fine tune adjustment
Oh, yeah.
to set it up real quick for some cutoffs. So super
Pretty to
excited
get one
about
of
it.
those.
Yeah, I'll let you know how it works. I mean, I've always, I just realized that these are turned opposite of each other too. That's really weird. So these are both off right now. See their directions, so they turn opposite of each other to turn them on. Different. And then I got
Better be careful with that one. You be thought you had one off and it's on or on and
right.
off. And
This is supposed to be the new one with the big magnet. And it's got this. I didn't realize this till just now. It's got like these little black lines. These are like anti-skid stuff. It's kind of sticky, like tacky. Like,
yeah, when they get full of sawdust,
ooh, like on the countertop, just a countertop. It wants to. I mean, obviously I can slide it,
gripping.
but
Yeah,
it's got some grippy to it. Yeah.
yeah. If it gets super filled with sawdust and it's no longer grippy, just take what is it? What is that? Oh,
Can you hear that?
yeah, sounded like thunder or something. It may be thunder. We're going to get some rain this weekend.
I have no idea what that was.
Go knock on the door and ask Jimmy Bob what he's doing.
Could be the shower leaking again for all I know. But when
I'm
it gets
getting
full of sawdust, what do I do?
so you just take alcohol wipes,
Oh,
and that's how you clean, because that sawdust won't hardly come off. But
oh,
you remember the
these.
yep? Do you remember the gripper?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. So I looked one day because it had gunk all over it. It wouldn't stick anymore. And they're like, just take alcohol. And I did that. It was like brand new.
I've got one of those, the big yellow handle things.
Yep.
Don't ever use it.
I don't ever use it.
No,
So Danny in the cabinet group,
uh huh.
uh, he sent me a message today. He goes, "Hey Mitch, send me your address, bud. Send me your address." So I knew I was going to get something,
Because
And
he's
I said,
from Boston, isn't he? Something like that.
"No, New Jersey."
New Jersey.
So he made a post, and the reason I'm bringing this up because I'm involved with this somehow. But he goes, "If certain people are nice to me in this group, you will get a nice Christmas present from me this year. I'm sending them out to get them engraved with my logo so you remember me for the rest of your miserable lives."
That's funny.
So I don't know what I'm going to get from old Danny for Christmas, but well, I'm apparently going to get something.
Well, I need to get more involved in the cabinet group because ain't nobody offered to send me nothing.
Oh, the think tank is that's what you got. That's the one you got to get in. Are
Oh,
you
really?
in? Aren't you in that one?
Uh-uh.
You should be in that one. That's dude. That's where it goes down at. Like
Oh,
the cabinetry millwork page, we
yeah.
keep it all plain and simple over there. But dude, the think tank, it's like its own. What am I trying to say? It's like its own series on TV. Like it's going to take you a little while to get caught up with all the inside jokes, but
Well, send me an invite.
yeah, I'll invite you to it.
No, you won't.
Maybe,
You'll forget.
maybe I'll do it right now, sucker.
I got a micro jig. I got one of the micro jig blade cleaner containers things as
Oh,
well.
like for saw blades?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And then I ordered I had to order it from Rockler, I think, but the miter lock bit. Ordered a micro jig miter lock bit for miter folds.
Yeah,
Because
modifolds. Yeah,
those are starting to become popular. But I want the lock. Like I want that glue surface.
yeah. Those are apparently the bee's knees. I don't have one yet. I'm gonna get one day.
I'll let you know.
Nick has got a router bit specifically designed for real pocket hole machines,
Hmm.
and they're about $20 cheaper than the white side one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna order one. There, I said it.
Well, I think your boy is upset with me because I texted him to see if he still has that pocket hole machine, and he hadn't answered me.
Uh-oh. He may not. He might have sold it. Now he's ghosted you.
I mean, if he sold it, he sold it. I mean, all he's got to do is say, "No, I sold it."
I hadn't talked to him, dude. That's been 3 weeks since I've talked to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about I walked in Worth today and stood there, obviously for 5 minutes before anybody
Yeah.
said anything. And the guys,
Yeah,
there's this
typical.
other guy in there that I didn't know. He's like, "Can I help you with anything?" I said, "Well, I think I put in an order in yesterday." I said, "But I didn't get a response back from Troy." I said, "So I don't know if it's in yet or not." I was like, "But I don't know." I was like, which is unusual. So I don't, because Troy usually responds. I said, "So I don't know if he's out of pocket or not." And the guy goes, "No, he's not out of pocket. He's sitting right here." He's like, "I'm Troy." And I was like, "Oh, well, it's nice to meet you. I'm Travis." And he's like, "I'm sorry I didn't respond." I was like, "Well," and he didn't put it in. He missed it. But I was like,
Oh,
I didn't know if maybe you were on vacation or because he usually does respond.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but I'm ready. I'm ready for. I don't know whether I should do a pocket hole. I think a pocket hole is probably my. I'm trying to figure out what would improve my productivity the best. Like, and I think pocket hole would
Mm,
be. I lost you.
yeah, I muted it because I had to adjust my
Oh,
microphone.
I mean,
I
but
don't
I
know.
think
A pocket hole speeds it up, but it's not just drilling the pocket hole either. And by the way, if you go to the cabinet group, there's a bunch of good posts on it about why people have them and don't believe in them and believe in them. But not just drilling the pocket holes; it's a lot easier to assemble without as much
yeah,
shifting. That's the key.
yeah,
You're talking about a Maxi where that does a 4-degree screw.
yeah.
So
My biggest thing is really with the Foreman that I hate the most is that the stupid screw loosens itself. Like I'm almost tempted to get me another Foreman for the money and set it up right beside that one and have it set up on 1/2 inch. And that way, because when you move that lock, did you ever do a Foreman? Did you ever? Were
dude,
you
the
ever?
Foreman I had was from 1992, and it was the old hand put, and it was wore out when I got it.
Well, I mean, I don't mind the Foreman, but if the handle, the part that locks the foot down, if it loosens up and you don't notice it and you get to going too fast, you know what you do? You break the tip on the bit.
Oh yeah, because it lets it shift or something.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And well, it lets it float up. It lets
Yeah.
it when the bit comes up, it pushes the board up,
Oh yeah.
and then it gets, the I don't know what you call it, but like the pocket hole bit is got
Got a little
the
pre-drill on
little
the end.
pre-drill on it.
Mm-hmm.
It snaps that little pre-drill off. There was a week I went through 3 bits in 2 days. I was like, oh, you son of a,
Yeah.
because it was loosening up. And I almost like, man, if I just put another foreman right beside this sucker and just set it up for half inch, I'm good. Like it does. There's only a couple of times that it's hard to reach. And I'm like, man, I wish I had a foot control.
Dude. Now I'll say this about that Maxi I have is the PHM 30.
Yeah.
I'll say this, dude. It is is gangbusters, man.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can stand 10 feet away from that sucker and hit the pedal and it's down there doing the work, it's
Yeah.
clamps and all that stuff. It's just so much nicer to use. And it's not a machine that's going to cost you 10,000. Like I'm on the bubble now. We're kind of starting to look at seriously looking to getting another edge bander
Yeah.
because Cole got one, my buddy, and the guy I've been helping.
Yeah.
And I helped him set it up. It was brand new out the box. I set it up. We ran a few panels, and I was like,
I think you
"Dude,
should.
this is different. This is a lot different than
Yeah, you should. And then I'll buy yours from you.
yeah." And I'll give you all the clamps that you have to run it too, like all the spring clamps holding everything in place. I'll include them for free.
We'll have all the gears on it.
Yeah, we'll have all the gears on. Ain't you glad? Did that guy ever message you back? By the way,
So finally got a response back, and it was the girl said, oh, I got an invite to join a thing. She said it gave it some legitimacy to it. It said, Edgemander. Hi, this is my dad's. He doesn't have Facebook, so I'm giving out his number. So reach out to him. His name is Bubba, and looks like a legit area code phone number for this area code. So
yeah, it's probably legit.
But it's still there for sale.
Yeah,
But for $1,400, I'm like, could I fix that?
oh yeah, you can get part if you go to VirtueX.
Yeah,
and put in the model, which I mean it's fairly simple to find. They have all kind of parts diagrams and they have part numbers, and you call them and you say, or you order it online, and they're usually you get it in 2 or 3 days.
yeah.
But
I mean, I
I'm
wonder if
glad I
that's
saw
all.
that.
But I don't know if that's all it's missing.
Right? Exactly.
So I don't know.
Now they're a pain. Those EB25s when they're working, they work good. But man, when they're being temperamental, like
They're
Trey will
pain.
be over there rubbing on mine. He'll just kind of caress it. He'll say, "Betty Lou, are we gonna have a good day today, or we gonna
Try to
have a
get her
bad
warmed up.
day?" Yeah. He's like, "You got to be gentle. You got to be. Don't just come over here and just turn it on and start throwing stuff in it. You got to be gentle."
Yeah, I really don't do enough. I need a cheap one.
Maxiwa makes one that's kind of like half manual. Festool makes one that's supposed to be pretty good.
And it is through the roof.
Yep. I'm about to say, look at that Maxiwa one, and like I said, it's not fully automatic, but it'll help you. It'll dang sure save you a lot of time from doing what you're doing. And you just have to buy what's best for you. Like I need to upgrade my edge bander. Mine is literally wearing out, and sooner or later it's just going to tear up. And I'm like, we kind of need to get ahead of this thing now.
Well, my problem is I got a little bit of cash flow going for the shop, and I mean, and it's in a decent spot, and it's like, so what can I do? So the kind of the itch is there. What do I need to buy?
Exactly.
You need to buy something because there's always something you can buy. It's like, but what would be the best bang for my buck that would increase my productivity and make things better? I can tell you this, the first thing I need to build is a stupid clamp rack. I need to build a clamp rack that rolls around the shop. I'm tired of them on the wall. I don't like them on the wall. I'm over that.
Yeah, I don't either.
Because
I don't use them a lot, but it's a pain having to walk all the way to where they are.
Yeah, it never fails that like today, like that area where they are was kind of full. So I was doing some clamping in another area.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, so I've got like 20 clamps laying on one of my rolling work tables. I'm like, man, if I could have just rolled my clamp stand over here, I could have put them up. Like,
yeah.
Which
Let me.
Lowe's has 36-inch heavy duty clamps on sale right now. There are $49 for a pair. I don't know if you need any or not, but they're the heavy
Hmm,
ones.
what do you use pipe clamps a lot?
Not a lot, but I do some. I mean,
I can tell you that the 3/4 pipe clamps that Harbor Freight sells is not the pipe. You got to go get the pipe from somewhere else. He's hearing things. What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know,
Can you hear
man.
it?
I heard it sounded like a horse running.
I don't
I
know
don't
what
know.
that is.
I don't know what that is. At least you don't have any orbs over there though
Of
yet.
course, I've never heard it until I try to do a podcast.
Oh yeah, well that's par for the course. But I've got a bunch of their 3/4 pipe clamp, the ends, the actual
Yeah,
clamps,
yeah,
and then you just go buy the pipe or whatever. And dude, I'm telling you, they are, to me, they're as good, if not better, than any of the rest of them. I haven't had one get loose yet. And the Jorgensens that I have, you got to be careful when you take them off because the other end that you use to hang it, the sliding end,
yeah.
man, it'll come ripping right down the pipe and about take your finger off.
Huh.
But the Harbor Freight ones, and they're like $10 a pair.
Yeah,
The cost is in the pipe, but
yeah.
those are really good, for pipe clamps. Trey got something the other day. Did you see the new board?
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, I'll text it to you before my phone dies.
Yeah, I'm down.
Uh,
I'm down to 18%.
yeah, I got to figure out. I may not have. Did I? I might have deleted the picture. Anyway, I put it in the cabinet group, but it might have been the think tank. Anyway, he's got a friend of his that owns a storage building place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the wife of the friend said, "Good, Trey, you're here. You can help. I got a box out there that I can't get out of the way. I can't move. It's too big." Trey's like, "What is it?" Because she was like, "It needs to go to the trash." And she said, "It's a 4 foot by 6 foot roll around cork board." And I was like, Trey was like, "Yeah, I'll get it. Is it free?" And she's like, "Yeah, you can have it." So he brings it over here, and you can put all the drawings for the whole job on one side, and
Oh,
everything, no flipping through clipboards, no flipping through pages and taking it out and everything for the job is on one board,
nice.
and it fits directly on the back side of the face frame table. So Tommy can just look up and every cabinet, and we put all the face frame parts list, they're hanging up too. So it's super organized and Thomas loves it. Me and Trey love it. It's so easy just to look at it because you're not going to lose it, right? What did I do
Right.
with the clipboard? Where did I leave? I left it. Man,
I can't
it's
ever. I
there.
need to paint my clipboards like neon pink or something. I can't. I keep losing them.
Yep. Well, buddy, get you one of these. Get you one of these. It's a
Well, I've got a
and
spare TV now from this move, so I've taken it to the shop. I just got to get a mount, and I want to mount it right above my workbench. And I found one. It's like $28, but it's got a 360 swivel on it, and I think I'm
oh
gonna hook
yeah,
my computer up to that.
yeah, that'll be good. And
Yeah,
see, it's simple stuff like that. Some of the things, I mean, it was free,
yeah.
you know. And I just said, and what's my rule? I'll try it.
Oh
If you
yeah,
want to try it and see if it works, let's try it. And we love it. And Cole came in here today and he was like, "I'm getting one of those. Like, I'm tired of walking around." And we don't know.
yeah.
You
I
don't
see
know
dry
that
erase
walking around
boards
with it.
all the time for sale, and I'm like, oh, or for free actually, a lot of them, and like they're
Yeah.
magnetic and all. I'm like, I need to go. I need to get my hands on one of
Now,
those.
he thought that this is one that rotates, right? You loosen it up on either side
Hmm.
and you can turn the whole thing. It rotates on the left and right axis. And and one side he thought was a dry erase board. So you can write notes on it. Hey, do this to this cabinet. Don't forget this, whatever. But when we opened it, both sides were corkboard, which is fine. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah,
But having all your drawings just sitting there and all you have to do is look, it's a game changer, man.
it's
And it's
amazing what
little
the little
stuff
things will
like
do.
that. Yep, it is. It is. But anyway, that's it. We're going to get this job, and we're starting a big job in Auburn. And then I had a builder, Frank called me the other day and said, when you get done with this one, we got another one for you to measure. After that, the next one will be ready. After that, the next one will be ready. After that, the next one will be ready. He
Nice.
said, "Oh, yeah. And then you can do the cabinets in your house." So I'm going to have a block about March to do my
Right.
canvas in my house.
Uh, Good problem to have, though. Man.
Yeah, so they're coming, dude. And as far as we're not like we don't call each other on the weekends. We don't go hunting, fishing together. We don't hang out, But when we see each other, like I've ran into him at a restaurant in Troy or something. He's, hey man, how y'all doing? What's going? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
And he'll mess with us a little bit because we have a group chat with him, Tammy, and myself on it. And Tammy will like mess with it. Like the other day, Tammy said, "Hey, I'm just asking, do I need to cancel all these people coming to the new house for Thanksgiving because it don't look like it's going to be ready? Like what do I need to do? Do I just need to cancel everybody? I got all these plans, and I don't think there's no way it's going to be ready." He said, "Yeah, cancel Thanksgiving and Christmas too." That's what he told her.
And you know what? St. Patty's Day is not looking too great either.
Yeah, they ain't looking. Hey, old Valentine's Day ain't looking too good either. But no, but as far as taking care of business, and staying on top of it, I mean, we've gotten everything we thought.
Good.
We're still a little bit under budget. She was asking him about, we had to finish the bottom side of the porches,
Uh-huh.
and somebody was like, "Hey, do vinyl." Vinyl's pretty cheap because we were going to do wood, and then we are like, time. We got all these houses. And he goes, "Let me do some price checking." And he calls and he says, for $200 more, you could do metal,
Oh.
brand new metal on the bottom side. So I think that's what we're going to do. It's going to cost us about $2,000, but luckily we haven't gone crazy and there's money left in the build,
Yeah.
because he's like, we're pretty much locked in. Like there's nothing big that can happen now,
Well, just
and
remember you don't want to do this twice, too.
that's right.
Get what
Yeah.
you want.
And he was thinking, he said, you may have to do it before the banks close. The bank may not close on it with the unfinished bottom side. He said it might. Some banks are weird.
Yeah.
And so we're like, well, if we got, a surplus in the building fund, we can just do that,
Yeah.
you know. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. We're supposed to be doing that sometime between now and the end of the year. Septic's got to go in. Water's been on for a month and a half, no leaks.
Nice.
So that's good.
Just keep her under pressure.
Yep. And I go out there every now and then, let a little bit of water flow through, you know. But yeah, it's looking really good, dude. Really good.
I'm happy for you guys. I know you're super stoked to get in there.
Yeah, we're ready, man. We're ready.
It'll be here before you know it, because this year's, I mean, we talked last night. What are we sitting for a Christmas budget? We're here.
Yep.
I mean, it
Yep.
is here,
By the way, what's her name? Mama Mia, Aunt May, Millie May, Millie May. You remember Sister Schubert used to make rolls with
Yep.
The little sausages on the inside.
Uh-huh.
The little what do you call those things? Little
Like a pig in a blanket type kind of thing.
yeah, the little smokies.
Yes.
It had the little smokies on the inside. They quit making them.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 2 years ago, they quit making them. So that was our Christmas tradition.
Yeah, that's a holiday mainstay.
Bingo. Now they have like this roll, this pinwheel with ground up sausage meat, and it's gross. It is gross. And that's me talking about Sister Schubert now. It's gross.
I mean, that is like literally talking about like a sister, like from a convent. Like, I mean,
Right. Yeah. You don't
talk
nobody
bad
down
about
here
them things.
You don't talk bad about Sister Schubert. But they're nasty.
Yeah.
Well, Millie May, I think I'm saying that right. They're like, hey, there's a void. We're gonna fill it.
Yeah.
So they make the little dinner rolls, but they put Kaneka sausage on the inside.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir. So we went to the Pig in Troy, which is my favorite store in Troy, and she got 2 boxes of them. So we're set.
I can't tell you how many people I've put on the Kaneka sausage up here. Like, I mean, can you believe we can get it this far up? Like, I mean,
like in some stores and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
Publix, Kroger up here. Yeah,
they deserve it, dude. Kaneka is like, for those of you maybe listening, I don't know, around the world or up north, Jason, do whatever you can do to get a box of just regular old Kaneka sausage, throw it on the grill, and you tell me you're going to be mad because you missed out on it your whole life.
Yeah. It's,
But
And it's
speaking of
made
sausage,
it's made in Evergreen, Alabama, which is just a little bit further south than where we're from. Like that's,
yep,
I mean, it is called Conecuh because it is from Conecuh County. Like
yep.
it's, and it's not Conecuh, it's Conecuh. Just so you know.
And
Um,
it is absolute. Like I don't know anybody ever who don't
uh,
like it.
no,
Who's like I ain't much of a Conecuh guy. You
yeah,
know, I mean
well,
everybody loves it.
just a vegetarian.
Yeah.
It's the only person
Speaking
I've
of
met.
which, I've got to go home and eat.
Yeah, I've been sitting here looking at this chicken this whole time because I'm doing this podcast in the kitchen / living room / dining room / The only thing it ain't a slash is a bathroom, and my cup is empty. Oh, there's a Twinkle Toes. Don't come downstairs
Uh-oh. He's ready to tell everybody, hey.
with a toy. He's fixing to go. You hear him?
Yep.
He's got a squishmallow.
You got to get him on camera, man. Let
Where is
everybody
he?
see him.
Come here. Come here. Come here.
Everybody see your moose. Y'all, this dog,
Up.
I've met this dog in person.
Come here.
He's everything you think he would
Come
be.
here. Up. Up.
He's like, I don't know that.
He's like, I know I'm not
Weird.
supposed to.
Look at him. Look at him. There he is. What's up, Moosey boy?
Do not lick my face.
What's up, Moosey boy?
He's obviously been up there with Carson because he smells like perfume. Lord have mercy. All right. Well, everybody have a good week. I hope the cattle sale goes good for you, man. Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, it ain't my money, so I ain't worried
Spend all
about
your
it.
brother's money, whatever. Tell them we said
Yes,
hey.
sir.
And
I'll
we'll
do it.
catch up with each other next week, God willing. I know, Jesus. We'll figure this out. Hey, 2024, we're gonna be dialed in.
We in that thing. We got a sponsor now, Benford Tools. So
Yes.
when those checks really start coming in, we can upgrade some stuff.
That's right.
Do some
That's
stuff.
right.
So.
Well, all right, man. Be safe. Take care of everybody. Tell everybody we said hey. Thank you for listening, everyone. Just keep enduring. We'll get better. We got some plans. We're talking about it.
We're coming up with some stuff. You guys are gonna like. I hope.
That's right.
And
Or
Travis
not.
gotta find
We'll
out.
just keep doing it this way.
Travis got to find out what that noise was.
Oh, Lord. I don't know what that was. But. All right, everybody. Thank you. Hey, go chase a dream.
You ain't lying. Get up and go do it now. We'll see y'all.
See ya.